A jacuzzi bath system fits in your existing tub space. It's a no-mess installation with an amazing style selection, factory-certified installers, and a limited lifetime warranty. Call 800-717-4599. That's 800-717-4599 right now and get 50% off installation with no interest and no payments for 12 months. Replace that old bathtub today with a walk-in shower for a safer bathing experience. If you have lived in your home for over 15 years, it's time to remodel your bathroom. For a virtual or in-home appointment, call 800-717-4599. That's 800-717-4599. 800-717-4599.
Every 40 seconds, a child is reported missing. Find the Children is a nonprofit organization dedicated to helping find missing kids. You can be a part of their mission by donating your unwanted car. Call 1-800-294-0222. You'll receive the maximum tax deduction, and we provide fast, free pickup. Call 1-800-294-0222. Donate your unwanted or unused car. Call 1-800-294-0222. This advertisement was paid for in partnership with Cars R Us and Find the Children.
Hey there, I'm Jack.
And I'm Stag.
We're just two deer that want to make sure you know it's deer season at your authorized John Deere dealer. The deer season that saves bucks. You know, like us.
Yeah, you can get $3,000 off select John Deere machines. No early wake-up calls or tree stands required.
Just a trip to your authorized dealer before June 2nd.
If you ask us, it's the only deer season worth celebrating.
Visit johndeere.com/deer season to find an authorized dealer and for complete finance details.
Let's go. It's time for Sedano and Cap.
A little sabor, and we're going to just nosh.
It is George Sedano. It is Scott Kaplan. Sedano and Cap is on for your Thursday afternoon.
I'm going to have to say respectfully, I'm going to disagree.
Okay, why is that?
I don't know.
Here we go, Thursday, May 8th, and we'll get you ready for the LA Afternoon Drive Takeover. We'll talk about those New York Knickerbockers being unstoppable, it would seem. And can producer Lindsay Baseball's Cleveland Cavaliers actually win a game in this round? We'll find out today. Plus, we'll talk about the West, too. You know Cappy likes it on the West Side. The great Jim Lampley scheduled to join us. And maybe we'll even talk about, South Bay Cap like we did yesterday.
A Jerusalem cherry. He likes to lay the wood. Yeah. You say Kikuchi.
Wacky forced radio stunt of the year.
Christopher can go to hell. Oh, nothing worse than the horse. Nah, man, black don't crack.
Benjamin Pratt is like, how do you say his name? Asminger?
Asminger. Hey, these Hard Knocks guys are all over me right now. It's like I'm in back of Dayton. You are a bit killer. Because you got to talk about sperm? I mean, look at me. I'm a hot piece of ass. I mean, look at him.
Oh, Iamaliava. Because I thought it was like, I'm a leaving.
I'm on with Sedano.
Followers.
Let's do it. The LA Afternoon Drive Takeover. Sedano and Cap your Thursday afternoon right now.
Boom, ba ding. Ding, da bum. Boom, ba bum, ba da ba. Ding, da bum. Doom, ding, bum, ba da ba. Hey, Georgie boy.
Hi.
On the road and on YouTube video?
Yeah.
Looking money.
Well, I may have to get up in a second because I ordered a Caesar salad because I'm starving.
Really? Just the Caesar?
Yeah.
With
I'm
chicken,
gonna have
I bet,
dinner
right?
later tonight. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
I've had a busy day today, Cappy.
Oh, I gotcha. I understand. I, too, have had a crazy day. Let me hear about your day.
Wait,
You go first.
Did you get chicken on the Caesar salad?
I did, yes.
Avocado?
I don't know if it comes with avocado or not.
But you didn't ask for avocado on top of it. You didn't say
It
extra.
usually doesn't come with it.
Right. You'd have
Some
to ask
places
for
it does.
No croutons?
Oh, yeah, some croutons.
Oh, I was wondering if you told them hold the croutons.
No. You got to have some croutons.
You're willing to do the carbs, huh?
Yeah.
George,
Yeah.
you didn't send us a picture of your Marriott welcome gift.
There is none today because my room wasn't ready, so they put me in another room.
Oh, wow.
Jerks.
So it was either that or you weren't going to have me to start the show.
Okay. Well, I love having you. I mean, my gosh. By the way, this may be, somebody check me on this. This may be the first time of George's entire year of travel, it's been extensive, where he is joining the YouTube in live video and looking money today.
I don't know about money, but what was your day? So why was your day so busy?
Well, first of all, last night I got done with this Jim Lampley book signing, and I
did. I saw you. You looked very dapper.
Thank you. I interviewed Jim last night for quite some time. Jim told incredible stories, although his wife told me before we got going, she goes, "Don't give away the entire book." And I'm like,
yeah. Well, let me ask you a question. I was going to post this on your Instagram.
Yeah.
Because I thought it would be funny.
Yeah.
I was like, how long were your questions?
They had to be short because Jim can go.
Right.
Jim is a great storyteller, so I had to keep them concise.
So you were efficient and concise?
I thought so. Pretty
Why
consistent.
can't you do that here?
Because I'm trying to listen. When I hear you ask a 16-minute question, I then want to ask a 17-minute question.
Right.
It's a time of possession game, George.
Well, you
So
should hear it and be like, oh, my gosh, that's very long. I should make sure that my question is not that long.
No, I should hear it and go, no, I want to be longer. So last night,
you did the Lampley thing.
I got done late last night with the Lampley thing.
He's going to stop by at 5, right?
5 o'clock because he's going to be promoting his Wild Card Boxing Gym book signing with Freddy Roach on Saturday.
Yeah.
So last night when I got done with the book signing, I had not eaten, and I was starving. I don't know about you guys, but when you're really, really hungry at night and you haven't eaten and you're just like, do you eat healthy and clean? You're like, hey, it's late. I should have a salad. I want to eat
like a yogurt or something. Yeah.
Right. Or do you have kind of that thing in your head where you're like, I haven't eaten all day. I'm starving. I can afford it now at 10 o'clock at night.
No. I try my best to not do that.
Okay, well, I did exactly what you would try your best not to do.
Right.
So
What did you have, like a Carl's Jr. or something?
No. I went to my favorite Mexican restaurant.
Oh, wow.
And I was like, you know what?
So a sit-down.
Yeah, I was like, I'm not going to have the chicken with the rice and the beans and the tortillas. And I'm not going to do that, But yet Rachel did order that, which now meant that I was going to eat everything that she was going to have on the plate, because we have a 2/3 rule, she and I. She eats 1/3 of it. I eat 2/3 of it.
Got it.
So I ordered like 3 tacos. And I was going to eat my 3 tacos and everything else that she had on her plate. When it was all said and done,
yeah,
I walked out of that place last night so disgusted with myself, so sick. I was, and by the way, I was burping so loud. I was like, bleh!
Were you farting because of the beans?
No farting. All burping, but I mean loud, disgusting burping.
Right,
that if anybody were around me, they'd be like, what kind of freaking pig is this guy? That's the kind of pig that I am. So I got up this morning. I had to go work it off. I had to go put in the work at the F45. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then all day long, I've been at dealing with people who've been coming to the house to do work. Landscaper guy to fix some windows, guy that's coming to fix a bathroom. I mean, it's been like all day. People that are doing things because I can't do anything because I'm just completely incapable of really doing anything.
Yeah.
So that's it's been a long day. How about you? Okay. Let me hear your day.
So I woke up around 7.
Mm-hmm.
And then I watched the 4th quarter of the Celtics-Knicks game.
Oh, I watched it again myself. Wow.
Yeah.
Go New York, go New York, go! Yeah. Go New York, go New York, go! Yeah.
I took some copious mental notes.
Okay, as did I.
Because I did the Ryan Russillo podcast today.
Okay, all right.
With Ryan, obviously.
What time was that
at? 8 a.m.
Okay, so this is pre-flight.
Yeah, 8 a.m. And then I promised another buddy of mine, Ethan Skolnick, that I would do his podcast.
Ethan Skolnick. I feel like I know him.
Bleacher Report, right?
He used to work. Yeah, exactly. So he, but the Russillo pod went a little later because he and I just got carried away. We went deep, Cappy, as you know. You know what I'm saying? Although we had a lot of fun, actually, too.
Did he ask any 16 or 17-minute questions?
Nope.
Okay.
I listened
you see,
to
when
his...
Russillo and I do a podcast together, it's just a conversation, Cappy.
All right. Gotcha.
There's no questions necessarily.
I listened to his podcast, so I'm going to hear you. That's like third on my list right now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I asked him if Bill Simmons is okay. He says he has.
What's wrong with Bill Simmons?
Well, he's a big Celtics fan. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, he didn't even do a podcast after last night's game.
I thought there was something wrong with the guy.
Well, probably.
I asked him if he was okay.
Mm-hmm.
I like Bill. I don't know him super well, but I like Bill.
I don't know him at all, but I saw him at a Laker game not long ago, and I thought to myself, should I say hello, introduce myself? And I was like, forget about it. So he had nice seats, though. Hey, Bill, nice seats.
Yeah. So he said he hadn't heard from him yet, so but he wasn't trying to antagonize him. But anyway, but yeah, we talked a lot. We talked about every series that's going on right now.
Mm-hmm.
And then we had some fun. He asked me about my who would be some of my favorite coaches to talk to as far as guys who would be super honest with me when I talk to them. So I gave him my medal stand, and we talked. We ended up talking for like 40-something minutes. Around
what time was your flight?
So my flight was at 11, and then I promised Ethan I would do his podcast, so I jumped on there late, and we did that one for 30 minutes from like 8:50 almost to like 9:20.
Oy vey.
Then I got dressed and out of the house in 10 minutes, and I got to the airport right as they were boarding.
Okay, and got to Denver safely. That's good news.
Yeah,
Love
a little
to see
bumpy
that.
ride in. You know, those Rocky Mountains, man. It makes you nauseous on the flight in.
I mean, a lot of times when you fly into Denver or you fly into Vegas, those places can be kind of bumpy pulling in. You know, my daughter, I told you the story that my daughter is.
Well, and all I had was coffee all day. I had coffee and like a body armor drink and then I realized on the flight, I'm like, oh man, I haven't eaten anything. Yeah. And I'm going to get super nauseous eventually when we land this thing over the Rockies. So I figured out I had a protein bar in my bag. So I had that, and then, you know, they give like some snacks. So I had like a banana,
and the
I had like some almonds.
Rocky Mountain High.
And then when I landed, I had another protein bar, and I'm still starving, so that's why I ordered this salad.
I also am starving. I've not eaten anything all day. I've realized I've had no water all day. I did have a protein shake, so I'm ready for the show, and I did have a second cup of coffee. You know, George, I told you my daughter cannot fly. She cannot mentally wrap her head around flying right now. She's driving from New Orleans back to Southern California, and a friend of mine sent me a picture today from Instagram. It says, did you know your odds of dying in a plane crash are 1 in 13,700,000. Your odds of dying in a car crash, 1 in 93. I wrote him back and said, thanks for the data as my daughter drives across the country.
Well, you should tell her that.
I did. I sent her the picture. I sent it to her.
And they said something high number, like 80 or 90% of like fatal car accidents happen within 5 miles of home.
Yeah. Yeah, well, she's cruising through the state of Texas right now. George, I'm so glad you went back and watched that Boston-New York game last night. I did the exact same thing.
Oh, man, let me tell you something. There is so much going on there to discuss. And I know I put you on my distribution list. You got my sig notes.
I did. I loved it.
Because I know you don't love you're not thrilled that you're not on all these distribution lists. So I put you on mine. How about that?
I really appreciate it. I mean, listen, ESPN has no idea who I am. You know what I mean? Like there's not one person at ESPN that's like, hey, what about we put Kaplan on that list? And they go, you mean like Emily Kaplan? The girl who covers hockey?
She's definitely on those lists.
They're like, no, Scott Kaplan, the guy from ESPN LA. They're like, who is he? What does he clean up the garbage cans in that place or what? Who is this guy? Why does he need sig notes? Well, we want the janitor to know.
You're on the distribution list about the Wellness Center.
You are. That's remember. You're home away from home.
Yeah,
you told
when
them
you
about
replied
you
all
literally
to.
live next
Right.
door.
I know, but you know what, Linz? I haven't gotten any emails from them in a long time.
That's because you don't know
It's
how
been a
to
minute.
check your ESPN email. You said that. You said you're locked out of it and you can't get into it.
You're
is
locked
true.
out of it,
I
so
don't-
you wouldn't even be able to get sig notes even if you wanted them.
No, I would be able to get sig notes. I can get my ESPN email. I just never check my ESPN email. Never use
Well, then why do you need
know
to
what
be on the list?
it. Well, they can use my other email, can't they?
I don't know. I feel like
I
you need to have
guess.
like an official place.
They would probably be like, who's this guy with this weird email?
Yeah, what is cited?
Right. Well, or you could just use my Gmail.
I don't think they like to do
Well,
that.
that one too also has like a bunch of weird things on it. Like,
Oh, yeah.
Like Cap. Never mind.
Anyway.
well, let's not say what it is, but
Let me tell you this.
I stopped myself.
But it's got like just stuff beyond just your name. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's like
Surfer
you know,
Girl 32.
Yeah.
Something weird like that.
I'll just say this.
1,000.
I'm willing to use my ESPN email if I can start getting the ESPN data emails.
All right, we'll figure this out.
All right,
Cappy.
let's
But first,
work it
why
out.
don't you tell us about you and your friends at Subaru who you'll be visiting this weekend?
Actually, I'm so glad you said that, George, because I was on a call today with Omar from Ocean Subaru of Fullerton. And, you know, he's such a humble guy. You know, here's a guy who spent 20 plus years in the U.S. Army. And every time I talk to him, I'm like, Omar, thanks for your service, bro. And he said to me, he goes, you know, man, he goes, I hear you on the air. And I do. I like to hype him up. You know, when you served in Desert Storm, Desert Shield, when you were in Saudi Arabia, Iraq, Afghanistan, he goes, you know, I appreciate you saying all that. He goes, but let's leave it there because I don't really need to talk about my military career and all the things I did. He goes, because there are a lot of my other brothers that have gone through a lot of stuff. And he goes, and that's why I want to take extra good care of veterans, active duty military, families of military. So if you have military connections and you're also looking for a brand new Subaru, come visit our great friends at Ocean Subaru of Fullerton. And let me just say this. You can be a civilian too. And Omar and his entire staff we want to get you into the best Subaru product that we can get you into, the safest vehicle on the road. So when you talk about putting your kids and your dogs and all your sports equipment and your surfboards on top and your snowboards and your skis, this is a lifestyle vehicle. Versatility, reliability, modern technology, and all-wheel drive, and the safest rating on the road. We are super focused on making sure that you are getting into the right Subaru. So come on out and visit us. I'll be there on Saturday, as a matter of fact. Ocean Subaru is conveniently located at 1100 South Euclid in Fullerton, right off the 91 freeway. There's no way you can miss us. We're right there, especially at night, man, because we are illuminated like we got this, just honestly, like skylights everywhere. Go to oceansubaruoc.com. That's oceansubaruoc.com for more information. And while it's still going on, the Subaru A Lot to Love event is happening now. Ocean Subaru of Fullerton, where every journey starts with love.
The most followed sports radio station in the world.
In the world. That's right. In the world.
710 ESPN.
You know it. Yeah. Tell your friends.
At ESPN Los Angeles on Instagram, Facebook, X, YouTube, TikTok, and Twitch.
We're naturally entertaining.
Yes. LA's mega sports station. 710 ESPN.
Mother's Day is almost here, and I've been thinking a lot about all the times my mom went out of her way just to make me happy. Honestly, I've lost count. All of the pickups from practice, help with the homework, the home-cooked meals. My mom is the best. That's why this year I'm returning the favor with the bouquet from the Books Company. And I got you 25% off of your order so you can send some happiness to your moms, too. Books aren't just any flowers. Their flowers are cut fresh from the best farms, so they're bigger, brighter, and last way longer. Some are even grown on the side of a volcano. Wow mom with a bright, happy bouquet, or go for the Books Flower subscription so she can get fresh blooms and major joy on repeat. It's also really easy. I pick my bouquet, delivery date, and done. And with 25% off, why stop with mom? Grab some for your wife, your auntie, and even grandma too. Mother's Day is May 11th, so hurry and order your Books now. Go to Books.com, use promo code CANTY to get 25% off. That's BOUQS.com, promo code CANTY. Books, promo code CANTY.
Hey guys, you feel it? Days are getting longer, sun is getting warmer. Looks like our SoCal summer is right around the corner. Here in California, we are all about choosing chill. From hitting the beach to the best hiking trails to going all out to support our teams. One thing really all ties it together, and that's enjoying it all with good friends and a cold Coors Light. Pick up Coors Light near you or get it delivered to your door today. Visit CAChooseChill.com to learn more. 2025 Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado. Celebrate responsibly.
Individuals and businesses with tax problems, listen carefully. Do you feel like you're losing control of your finances? If you owe over $10,000 in back taxes or have unfiled tax returns, we can help you take back control. The IRS is the largest and most aggressive collection agency in the world, and they can seize your bank accounts, garnish your paycheck, close your business, and file criminal charges. Take control of your tax problem now by calling the experts at U.S. Tax Shield and take advantage of the Fresh Start program and new laws that may allow us to negotiate a settlement for the lowest amount possible. Our team of tax attorneys and enrolled agents can stop collections and get you protected so you can take control of your financial future. U.S. Tax Shield offers a price protection guaranteed quote to get you protected today. U.S. Tax Shield is A+ rated with the Better Business Bureau, so call now. 800-687-5192. That's 800-687-5192. U.S. Tax Shield. 800-687-5192.
And it is Sedano and Cap here Thursday afternoon. Today is Give Someone a Cupcake Day. How about that? Give them that cupcake. And on this day, back in 2022, the #1 R&B song was Future, featuring Drake and Thames. Wait for you. Sedano and Cap continues your Thursday afternoon right now.
Whenever I found time, it's okay.
Wait for you.
Yeah.
ATL Jacob. You pray for my demons, girl, I got you. Every time I step up, I get wrong.
Yeah.
Annoying the sounds of the song when it comes. She understand I can't take her everywhere I'm going.
Seems like everybody's into it.
This is a great song.
I'll tell you something right now. DeAndre, I don't know who's having a better hair day, you or Lindsay. I don't know, man.
I'm actually coloring my hair probably this weekend.
Linz looks good. Nice and curly, looks good. But DeAndre, I mean, that's hot.
Hey, look, man, I had to let it out, man.
Yeah, you got to let it out. I got to figure that when you got it all tied down, that it kind of gets like you get a headache after a while. You know what I mean?
You know what? I'm actually used to the braids, man.
Yeah. I know.
Cap,
back
can
when
we give you a perm?
I mean, my hair just got cut. It's pretty short,
When
but
it grows
otherwise,
out, can we give you a perm?
sure. What do you want to do? Tell me.
Perm it. We'll perm it.
Have you seen that Will Ferrell commercial where he
Yes.
wants to get the perfect perm? And
Yes.
It's a
his hair?
PayPal commercial.
That's great.
We'll do
That's
that
a
for
great
you.
one. Yeah, I would do it. When I used to have long hair and I would pull it all back and put it in a ponytail. Ponytail's a little bit of an exaggeration. It was really very much a man bun. I acknowledge it. I'm there. And I'd get a headache.
High, like on top of the head, or was it a low man?
No, it was a low man bun. It was like a wannabe ponytail, but it was really a man bun.
I mean, you said you used to have a fro.
Yeah, big old fro, massive fro, giant.
I need proof, man.
Oh, dude, I'll show you some
sort
pictures.
of proof, yeah.
Dude, I will show you some pictures of the big old fro, bro. And then, when I would let it out, it would all be straight because it had been, in that ponytail all day. And I let it all out, and it would come flowing down.
And you
Dude.
shake your head and be like,
Yeah, I liked it, but everybody else, my mother was like, "Can you please cut your hair before your sister's wedding?" And I was like, "All right, ma," but I didn't. I just pulled it in the back. I just put it up in a ponytail. But then I met my wife, and I met her on like a Wednesday, and by Friday the whole ponytail was gone.
oh, that's the worst. When you meet
man.
someone and and the first thing they do is like, oh, you got to do this. You got to change this about yourself. Change this.
Well,
that
she
was a
didn't
red
know-
flag right there, Cap.
Oh, there were many red flags.
You missed
Linz.
it.
There were many. As I look back
Like a
on it now,
blinking red light.
right, there were many red flags even before I walked down that aisle and before I said all those vows. There were many red flags I should have been smart enough to see, but I wasn't. George, where were you in my life when I needed you?
He was eating his
I
Caesar
think
salad.
I was your intern back then.
No, this was a little bit. Yeah, pretty close. Pretty close.
No,
This is
what
like
year?
1999.
When did you get married?
1999.
Yeah, I was there.
Yeah,
I was only 1 year old.
What month?
June of 99.
Oh, I was your intern that winter and spring.
Well, you were terrible at your job. I can tell you that right now. Because if you were any good at it, you would have told me, A, don't cut your hair, and B, don't get married.
Yeah, I vaguely remember you talking about, like, I vaguely remember a bachelor party and then a wedding, but that's about it.
Yeah. Well, don't you
It's a
remember?
long time ago, Kevin.
Yeah. Well, what happened was, I'll tell you real quick what happened, is that we started to produce a TV show. And I think it was called, I don't know if it was called Football Weekly, or I don't know, something stupid. And It was me. I'm in the middle, and I'm young, man. I am like 29 years old. I have no idea what I'm doing. And to my right is Sam Weish. Remember the legendary coach of the Cincinnati Bengals?
Bengals. Yeah.
And to my left is Marv Levy, marvelous Marv Levy. And
Right,
these
the Bills.
Right, these are two guys that are both going to be there to be like these, football analysts. And I'm in the middle of these two guys. And my now ex-wife, she worked as a production assistant, and we were interviewing like weather girls one day. We needed hot chicks for a weather girl, but my ex-wife, she looked very normal, and I don't know. Somehow we started talking. We went out for dinner later that week. Ponytail was gone.
Wow,
and,
3 days later, huh?
Yeah, ponytail was gone, Georgie.
I remember I arrived when the ponytail was there, and then it was gone. Yeah.
One day you just came back and it wasn't there anymore.
And the man bun was gone, right? Yeah.
Man bun history.
Cap, do you tell Justin, your son, like not to get married?
No, actually, Lindsay, it's funny you say that. What I do say to him is, why don't you go out and meet some girls? Because I don't know what's up with young guys nowadays. My son's 25.
They just want to be online, man.
Dude, these guys want to be on video games with their buddies in other parts of the country playing video games. I'm like, bro, go to a
He's
bar.
in a rush. He's in a rush to meet someone, and
I just want him to leave the house, Linz. He doesn't have to meet somebody.
Okay.
I think you liked him at the house. For a little
I
while.
love him at the house, but
right,
when
but
he's
just for a little while.
Right, like when he's at work, I like that he's at work and he's out of the house. But on a Friday night, a Saturday night, I'm like, dude, call your old pals and like go to a bar and like look for chicks. And he's like, nah, it's not really for me. I don't really like that. I'm like, all right, I'll take you. Well, I'll help you look for chicks.
Oh, no, definitely don't do that.
That's not something he's interested in.
Don't
Cap,
do that.
You got to like hook him up with your buddies from the FaZe Clan, so he can go and like do those video game tournaments.
Oh, that's a good idea. I should
that.
have him hook up with the FaZe Clan.
Yeah.
The worst thing in the world would be you, although it would be hilarious for us to watch if you could like find a way to like it be on like live stream or something.
Yeah.
I would watch it. There's no question. Outside of being at a game where I'd have to pay attention because I'd be working, any other time I would put everything else on hold for at least 15 or 20 minutes to watch that.
Hey, DeAndre, what if I go have my son hook up with the FaZe Clan and at the same time rock some G-Fazos?
Oh, yeah, that'd be fly. Yeah,
See, that would be fly. That would be fly as hell. And then we would really feel the vibes, right? Like,
Cappy,
totally.
You know who's feeling the vibes? Your boys, the Knicks, your new team.
Go New York, go New York, go. Yeah, go New York, go.
So here's some things that stood out to me. So did you read the SIG notes I sent you? Or
I read them. I kind of skimmed through them because I was busy watching the fourth quarter over again. Seriously.
So there is basically something called like expected shooting percentage or something to that effect, right?
Yeah,
based on shot quality, like how open you are when you shoot. There's an expectation that you'll hit a certain percentage of those, right?
Okay.
I watched the fourth quarter. Did you notice how many open threes the Celtics missed in that quarter?
It was unbelievable because at one point, Kevin Harlan actually said during the telecast that they haven't hit a field goal
in 8 minutes. Yeah.
I mean, that is hard to believe for a team that shoots as efficiently as Boston does, statistically speaking, during the regular season. How could they go that long at home?
So their expected field goal percentage from three, based on their shot quality in that game, was 38%, which is about what they shoot during the season.
Okay.
And they're shooting 25. That's through 2 games. So they're getting – when Joe Mazzulla – I know their fan base is irate, and I'm sure Laker fans are loving this. He's saying in his post games, look, we're getting good looks. They're just not falling. He's not wrong, because if you watch the game, you're like, wow, that guy is so open, and I can't believe he missed that. Yeah. And I must have said that easily like 7 or 8 times in the fourth quarter. However, this is where I will push back, okay? It's very similar to the conversation we had about JJ Game 3 in Minnesota when he was going to play everyone the whole half or whatever it was. And I know LeBron took up for him on his podcast recently with Steve Nash.
And we need to hear that, by the way. We definitely will hear that.
Yeah. I mean, if you've got it, if you got that particular piece of sound, feel free to play it.
I can play it right now if you want me to.
Okay, go ahead.
None of us question JJ and the coaching staff for what happened. Obviously, Gabe and Vando, guys that come, have given us so many great minutes. They definitely felt the way, and because they're competitors. Shit, we all feel like we could get in and make a moment happen, which JJ told us. It wasn't a decision that was based on guys not being able to do the job. Right. It was a decision based on the feeling of the game and the momentum of the game. None of us looked at him or the coaching staff anyway for the decision that he made, and it was our fault that we didn't come through.
I think they might have let one go there.
I don't know. I don't think so.
It was close. Anyway,
I think it was just like a glitch in his audio.
Yeah, he's like, sheesh.
So, anyway, what I would say to you, Cappy, is this. While listen, I get what he's saying because he's the guy that was playing and he's going to take up for his guy, and he's never going to want – first of all, he never wants to come out of the game anyway. Like, that's just the reality of who he's been his entire career. Like, if you tell him, like, hey, you can play the whole 48, I mean, he'd probably be like, okay. Like, or at least he's like, maybe I'll need a minute somewhere or 2 minutes somewhere. Like,
remember his goal at the beginning of the season was to play all 82.
82, right.
Yeah.
So, but with Mazzulla, much like we talked about it with JJ. He could be a little stubborn, and that's an instance where you saw that kind of come out. Mazzulla, the same thing. Look, I get it. The shots are great. They're wide open. They're missing. But when you go 8.5 minutes, okay, without hitting a shot, without hitting a field goal, at some point, maybe at the 4-minute mark, you should be saying, hey, you know what? Jalen Brunson really stinks guarding guys one-on-one. So does Karl Anthony Towns. How about we put these guys in the blender and just get those guys, call them up, and just attack them, get to the paint, get to the free throw line. Now, they did eventually do that, Cappy, but it wasn't until there was 1 minute and 45 seconds left in the game. Jaylen Brown tried that with Brunson. He was successful on one shot, unsuccessful on another. Tatum also was unsuccessful, but got to the free throw line when they were targeting Brunson. But it was too little too late. The lead had evaporated, and it's just one of those things with Mazzulla, who I like, okay? And he's a little stubborn about, hey, this is the way we do it, and this is the way it's going to be, and this is how we've been successful. Sometimes the calculus has to be different. Look at what we talked about with Oklahoma City yesterday, right? Or 2 days ago, where the way that game unfolded, Mark Daigneault says we always foul when we're up 3 at the end of games. And we kind of picked that apart with both Ian and Spiro and you and me and DeAndre and Lindsay. And it's those things where you can be a little too rigid as a coach because you don't have this huge amount of sample of coaching in the postseason, which is different than coaching in the regular season. And again, this isn't a me ripping those guys. It's just a fact. Like, you got to learn from those situations, and I'm sure JJ will learn from that situation, and hopefully Missoula, for his sake, learns from that. It clearly shows Dagnall. Well, I don't know if it clearly shows Dagnall learned from it, Cappy, because they blew the doors off
just annihilated him.
of Denver yesterday. So we'll see if they play another close game, how he handles it. But my point is, you got to adapt to the situation in the postseason. Yes, the numbers will get you through the regular season. And more times than not in the playoffs, it'll work too. But sometimes when you've got such a large sample of 8 minutes, when you're not hitting a shot, at some point in the middle of that, you got to pull the trigger and say, we're going to do something a little different.
Yeah, and think about that. Not only did they not hit a shot for 8 minutes, they couldn't hit a field goal. At that time, the Knicks went on a run. I want to say it was like 21 to 2. Oh, 21 to 2. And then late in the game, Tatum drives through the lane and slams one home.
Right, because they set a screen. Horford set a screen up high near midcourt, and then on the next time around, they did the same play. But the problem was the Knicks didn't fall for it. They kind of sagged, so it means Horford had to set the screen closer to the three-point line, in between the three-point line and the free throw line, and then all of a sudden the paint was more clogged, unlike the last time he made they did that same play where he slammed it where you were referring to.
When Tatum went through the lane and slammed that ball, I was like, bro, where have you guys been? Like, you're sitting out here taking all these shots. Why would you not have driven to the basket? But amazingly, to your point, they tried it again, and at that point, Tatum couldn't get a shot off.
Right.
And he couldn't find anybody.
The Knicks sagged off.
Yeah,
they were like, this is the exact – they read it, and they said, this is the same play. We're not gonna meet Horford at midcourt. Right, DeAndre? They sagged back, and then all of a sudden, the lane was a lot more clogged.
Yeah, and you want to hear how it sounded? Because Harlan had a great call.
Oh, yeah, he was excellent. It was unbelievable.
Yeah, here's how that last sequence went down. Yeah. DeAndre, Lindsay, you guys got that?
I do, yes.
Okay, play it.
They're going to go. They're not going to use the timeout. Plenty of time here. It's Tatum. Robinson's on him. Tatum maneuvering. Oh, the ball knocked away. Another great defensive play for the Knicks. They've got it. They've won it. New York has gone up 2 games tonight.
Yeah, it was unbelievable.
Incredible.
It was crazy. And look, we talked about, like, coaches being stubborn. Like, Tibbs at times has been very stubborn. Now, Mitchell Robinson being back has been a godsend for them. He has been unbelievable defensively, both in the interior and on the perimeter. But what I'll tell you is this. Tom Thibodeau, in these 2 games against the Boston Celtics, has – so yesterday was the game he switched more defensively. He's very rigid defensively, but he switched more than he ever has in his entire career as a Knicks coach. Okay, it was the number one game regarding how much he let his guys switch the pick and roll on defense, and game 1 was the 4th most. So he's made an adjustment to what most people think is his rigidity, because he's like, the way I got to beat these guys is different than what I normally do. And you know what Tom Thibodeau has over Joe Mazzulla, even though Joe Mazzulla has a championship, is a lot of games coached in the postseason, Cap.
You know, let me tell you something. You mentioned Mitchell Robinson, and if you're a Laker fan and you happen to be watching this Celtics-Knicks series.
That's what the Lakers were missing.
Right. You see Karl Anthony Towns and you see Mitchell Robinson, and you go, how is it that they've got 2 monsters? Yeah. How is it that they've got 2 guys that can play inside that are both 7-footer types? How is it they've got 2 of them and the Lakers can't find one of them? And the one guy that the Lakers had couldn't get off the bench because he weighs about 120 pounds.
Yeah, listen, let's double up here real quick. Let me talk about Jacob so we can continue this conversation, Cap, because Brian Windhorst had some pretty strong comments, I thought, about the Celtics too. And I'm sure, again, Lakers fans are delighting in all of this. But first, if you're injured in an accident, you need to immediately see a doctor and get on the road to recovery, right? So if you get into an accident, call Jacob at 844-24-JACOB. Tell them Sedano, Mason, and the crew at 710 sent you. But what happens if you call your doctor and they don't have an opening for a week? What about 2 weeks, maybe longer? Well, when you call Jacob, you know Jacob's going to handle all the aspects of your case. That includes getting you the doctor's appointment, usually the same day, with a doctor in your area. and the doctor doesn't get paid until the end of the case, so you don't have to pay a penny out of pocket to get the health care that you need. So that's why you call Jacob when you get into an accident at 844-24-JACOB and tell him Sedano, Mason, and the crew at 710 sent you. So even if you're in between jobs, don't have health insurance, Jacob can immediately get you the medical attention that you deserve. And if you prefer a face-to-face meeting, Jacob and his team can come to you, or you can come by the office. So call Jacob at 844-24-JACOB. That's 844-24-JACOB, 844-24-JACOB. Visit him online at calljacob.com. And by the way, if you or a loved one have been injured or lost property due to the recent wildfires, lawsuits have already been filed against those responsible. So please call Jacob for a case evaluation and help reviewing your insurance policy and claims, all completely free, because together we are LA Strong. All right, so Wendy Cappy was on Get Up, I believe, this morning. Yes. And or is this from his podcast, Lindsay?
No, this one is from Get Up.
Okay, so he was on Get Up this morning, and he was there. Like, he was at the game, and he was talking about kind of what he took away from his interactions with the Celtics postgame.
Yeah, so I was in the Knicks locker room after the game, and I specifically asked OG Anunoby, did you and Mitchell Robinson talk about how to defend it differently? Because the first time it was a disaster. And he said there was no time. As soon as Tatum got the ball, they looked at each other and said they knew what was happening. They knew they were going to do the play. And all across the Knicks locker room last night, praise for Mitchell Robinson for the way he made the adjustment, dropping further back, denying Tatum his preferred right side, forcing him into the help. In the Celtics locker room, Greeny, the last plays of the last couple of games aside, it was obviously did not go the way they wanted. They're having difficulty coming to terms with what it is happening. They don't understand why they're losing. They believe their process is working. They believe they're generating good shots. They are doing the recipe that delivered them the championship and 61 wins, and they are not getting the bake out of the oven like they are used to. Obviously, there's variance with shooting. This doesn't make sense to them. They feel like they're doing a good job on Jalen Brunson. He's only shooting 35% in the series. They want Mikal Bridges taking all those contested jumpers as he made in the fourth quarter. He's shooting 29% in the series, but they're losing. They're at a little bit of a loss right now.
Do you know what analogy I'd like to use? Remember yesterday when we were talking about Waymos? And Lindsay, you made the comment about there's like you saw like a Waymo, or there was like a video of a Waymo that was like in a roundabout, and it just kept going around and around and around because it kind of short-circuited, even though its process, I'm sure, was correct. That's the Celtics right now. They're just going around and around and around on the roundabout because they're like, well, this is what we do. This is how we do it. And these shots are open. We should be taking them. We're programmed to play this way. These are the habits we've built all season long, and it's not working. So I totally get what Brian is saying. And to me, it reminded me of the Waymo conversation we had yesterday about those things short-circuiting.
Yeah, look, here's the thing. When Wendy tells the story that the Celtics can't figure out why they're losing, it doesn't take a basketball analyst to figure it out. I mean, just all you have to do is take a look at the shooting percentage, and the numbers will tell you the story. When you are 10 for 40 from three-point range and you are 24% or 25% rather, that tells you the story. Here, you said it earlier. They look like good shots. They're open. They're accustomed to knocking them down. When they're not, you have to make an adjustment. And listen, it's the same in any sport. You know, if in baseball you've got runners in scoring position, but you just can't drive in a run, maybe you drop down a bunt. If in football you can't seem to run the ball, maybe you start using a little bit of play action. The point is that it doesn't take a genius to figure out that a team that shoots as well as they did during the regular season has had two really bad fourth quarters in particular. And by the way, it's not as if the Knicks played some great game last night.
No,
their shooting percentage was not good also.
Yeah, they didn't play great at all, actually. They have not played great. I mean, they're playing in the 90s, for God's sake. I will say this. The Knicks, man, have been really good in these close games. They've won basically, I believe it's 5 or 6 straight games that are 3 points or less. And I would say 5. I know 5 of them for sure have been on the road, which is kind of crazy. But, yeah, look, the Knicks are playing good basketball. Thibodeau is making the adjustment, as I mentioned to you. He's not being as rigid defensively as he's been in the past, and Mitchell Robinson is making a huge contribution for them.
I like that,
by the way, it's a Live Nation Ticket Thursday, Cappy, here on 710 ESPN. Listen today for the cue to call and be caller number 7 at 877-710 ESPN to win 2 tickets to the Outlaw Music Festival. Willie Nelson, Bob Dylan, Billy Strings, Sierra Hull, all live at the Hollywood Bowl on May 16th. or you can get tickets now at Ticketmaster.com. When are we giving those away, Linz? Is they just when the queue happens in the commercial break?
No, we'll do like a live.
Okay, a live call.
Yeah.
Like request for it. Okay, great. So anyway, Cap.
Yeah.
To
let
me,
just
the Celtics are just. Now, look, maybe the math will math, okay? The Celtics have been the best road team in the playoffs for the last several years.
Mm-hmm.
They've actually been a pretty bad home team in the playoffs, which is kind of crazy. So maybe the math will math. But I'll tell you this game coming up on Saturday in New York at 3:30 Eastern, 12:30 Pacific at the Garden, this is the biggest game at that arena for the New York Knicks since Game 1 of the 1999 NBA Finals.
I was going to say it's got to be 25 years at least.
Yeah, because, yes, they played a game against Indiana in the second round that mattered or whatever, blah, blah, blah. But they didn't have the expectation of, oh, my God, we can win this. Whereas that year, they were like this team of destiny in a lot of ways. They were the 8 seed that beat the 1 seed. They beat the Heat in the first round. I think they beat the Pacers along the way, too. So I think they felt like they were this team of destiny. And then, the Spurs came in. Tim Duncan and David Robinson just took them to school. But the anticipation, there hasn't been a bigger game since that point. It's been easily over 25 years.
Well, that's just it. Is that I actually think the Knicks are going to win this next game. You go home. You've got the home crowd. The place is going to be on fire. They'll have every celebrity that has anything to do. You say you don't know, but,
I don't know,
but you've also said for 2 games that Boston was going to win these games.
I also said yesterday that the Thunder would blow the doors off of Denver, and that worked out.
Wait
right?
a second. You want credit for that? You're not going to tell me that you had Boston? I'm telling you.
Okay, I know, but what I'm saying is I don't believe Boston is dead yet.
Oh, I don't believe they're dead, but I think that in Game 3, if the Knicks win, which is what my prediction is.
Of course, if the Knicks win, they're going to win the series.
Then they're toast. But
you know what? Even then, I still don't know if there's home free. I mean, Boston almost came back down 3-0 from Miami in 2023 in the conference finals, and then Jason Tatum turned his ankle like in the first quarter.
Well, I want to say this,
Game
George.
7.
I want to say this. It is time for us to start breaking out for all of our local L.A. residents who are New York Knicks fans. I'm going to start breaking out the Go New York anthem. Yeah. Go New York, go New York, go. Yeah,
in the meantime,
Yeah.
and we'll I want to get into something LeBron said on the other side. We'll continue talking about this series. We'll talk about OKC too. But tell us about your friends at Sellers Advantage.
All right, I will. And I also want to get back to what LeBron said about the coaching staff, so stay tuned for that. Hey, guys, selling your house does not have to be a hassle. And oftentimes, in fact, most times, when you go to sell your house, it's a complete pain in the ass. Why? Because you know what you think you're supposed to do is, I'm going to call an agent. Everybody's got a friend who's an agent. They're going to come over to your house, and they're going to go, hey, look, for us to sell this house, we got to paint these walls. We got to clean up the outside. We got to have curb appeal. We're going to have to spend, what do you think, $30,000, $40,000. We're going to have to spend that kind of money to really make the house marketable. Let me ask you a question. Do you really want to spend $30,000 or $40,000 to get your house ready to be sold? You're going to put money in that you're hoping to get out. Don't forget about the agents. Just forget the agents, forget the commissions, forget all the costly repairs, because by the time you hire an agent and by the time you think about all the money you're going to have to spend, you could have sold your house to Sellers Advantage for a very fair, competitive price without the worry of the deal falling through, because they pay cash. So I want to encourage you right now, if you're thinking about selling your home, get your free, no obligation cash offer when you call Sellers Advantage at 888-390-AS-IS, 888-390-AS-IS, 888-390-2747. If you're ready to sell and you want to sell fast, you call Sellers Advantage or you visit them online, sellersadvantage.com.
Next Gen is the official
I'm Doug
AC
Hopkins.
And I'm Damon Lyons.
And we want to buy your house.
After 30 years and more than 20,000 transactions, Sellers Advantage knows how to get you more for your home.
No agent fees, no commissions, just an as-is cash offer.
Call Sellers Advantage or visit sellersadvantage.com.
Next Gen. That's 833-3-NEXGEN for your $88 drain cleaning.
NEXGEN. Call 833-3-NEXT-GEN.
Hey guys, have you checked out the all-new Park West Bicycle Casino? With a new owner, fresh renovations, and upgraded amenities, it's a whole new way to experience LA's premier table game casino. From poker, blackjack, ultimate Texas Hold'em, and Baccarat, they've got all the action for ESPN LA listeners. Brand new players who sign up for their Players Reward get $30 in match play. Just say, Cappy sent me to get $30 in match play. Park West Bicycle Casino.
Please gamble responsibly. Problemgambling.ca.gov. 1-800-GAMBLER. GEGR-001291. GAR-001292. GAR-001298. BSIS license number 1358.
Every 40 seconds, a child is reported missing. That's 2,000 children every single day. It's a heart-wrenching reality that we can no longer ignore. Find the Children is a non-profit organization dedicated to helping find missing kids. You can be a part of their mission by donating your unwanted vehicle, running or not. Call 1-800-294-0222. We guarantee that you will receive the maximum tax deduction. We provide fast, free pickup with 24-hour response. Call 1-800-294-0222. Find the Children provides crucial resources to help find missing children and educational materials to teach kids how to recognize and avoid predators. Our recovery programs have a proven track record of reuniting kids with their families. It's time to act. Donate your unwanted or unused car. Help us build a world where every child is safe. Pick up the phone and call 1-800-294-0222. Together, we can bring these kids home safely. This advertisement was paid for in partnership with Cars R Us and Find the Children.
Hey guys, it's Sedano. Los Angeles International Airport's People Mover trains begin rolling early next year as part of LAX's ongoing investments to transform and improve your travel journey. The People Mover trains will quickly move guests between their terminals and our new consolidated rental car center, metro trains and buses, economy parking, and Kiss and Fly lot. The trains will make it simple and fast to get to your LAX destination in 10 minutes or less, and trains depart every 2 minutes beginning in early 2026. Learn more at lawa.org/ESPN.
One of LA's best kept secrets in the heart of Los Angeles, East Central Hotel offers effortless accommodations and unparalleled accessibility. The East Central Hotel is for everyone looking for entertainment with their trendy spacious rooms, a renovated gym, and a patio lounge for breakfast, dinner, and drinks. Stop by their incredible Nixo Lounge before your next event at LA Live. Book your stay at eastcentralhotel.com or call 213-748-1291 today at Entertainment's official address.
Hey guys, it's Sedano. If you're ready to upgrade your driving experience, you gotta go and check out what's happening at Cadillac and their incredible new lineup of state-of-the-art EVs, sedans, and SUVs. And hey, look, there's no better place to experience the luxury of Cadillac than at Cadillac of Beverly Hills. Check out Cadillac of Beverly Hills and their beautiful showroom at 8767 Wilshire Boulevard in Beverly Hills. And check them out on the web at CadillacBeverlyHills.com.
710 ESPN, your home for the 17-time world champion Lakers.
KSPN Los Angeles, a Good Karma Brands radio station.
710 ESPN.
Sedano and Cap for your afternoon right now on 710 ESPN.
It's time for what you need to know.
Let's do it. What you need to know right now.
What you need to know is brought to you by Morongo Casino Resort and Spa. Good times, just 90 minutes from wherever you are. Take it away, Linz.
All right, so what you need to know is that if you get any of your prescriptions filled at Rite Aid, you're going to have to find a new pharmacy because they're closing the doors of all of their stores coming in the next few months after filing for Chapter 11 bankruptcy.
Yeah, that stinks, man. And then, you can't get the ice cream there anymore.
Yeah, so they have what is the name of the ice cream place? It's
Thrifty.
Thrifty. So with them owning Thrifties, obviously everyone's kind of assuming that that's going to be part of it, so you can't get the ice cream either, but they're hoping that maybe they can sell that off separately and maybe keep it going.
Yeah, question. You could buy it at stores, like at grocery stores.
Yeah, but a couple of questions here first. First and foremost, so they're shutting down all Rite Aids?
Yep.
Yeah, Rite Aid's gone.
So done.
Done.
Yeah,
Totally done.
that's part of bankrupt.
Well, you say that, but a lot of times...
I know sometimes they reorganize.
It's actually the second time in the past 2 years that they filed for bankruptcy, and this time
it's the different chapter, the one that is like done.
Okay, so one must be Chapter 7, one must be Chapter 11, I guess?
And then 13. There's different ones.
So wait, okay, let me ask you guys a question about this Thrifty ice cream inside of a Rite Aid. Yeah. I have a Rite Aid not too far from my house. I haven't been in there in a really long time, but every time I went in there was the ice cream, and I was like, what are people doing with the ice cream in the Rite Aid?
It's good.
Oh, it's good and cheap?
Yeah.
Because I will say this. There are a lot of, like, bougie ice cream places nowadays, where it's super expensive, but they tell you how great the ice cream is, and then you have it, and you're like, yeah, it's good, but it wasn't worth $50,
No, this is, like, actually good, cheap ice cream.
Mm.
It's like when you go to Costco and you get the $1.50 hot dog or whatever it is.
Oh, really?
Similar to that.
Good, cheap
Similar
hot
setup.
dog, huh?
I'm not familiar
Similar
with
setup.
the Rite Aid ice cream whatsoever.
Me neither.
It's fire, man. I
Is
ain't gonna lie
it?
to you. Yeah,
I've
it's
never
fire.
really
DeAndre,
seen
it's
it.
good.
Good. Yes, it's really good.
Good
There's
ice
a Rite
cream,
Aid
huh?
right by my house. We don't go in there that often, but when we do, the kids would just get them a little ice cream.
Well, what are you going to do now? Now you got no
Well,
no
there
Rite
happens
Aids.
to also be a Baskin Robbins right down the street, too.
But there's not a Dairy Queen because we looked into that recently, and there's not many of those.
Yeah, there's not
in
a lot
this
of Dairy
area.
Queens in L.A.
Man, I haven't been a Dairy Queen in a minute.
Oh,
So good.
It's been like 10 minutes for me, DeAndre. It's been a
10
long-ass
minutes?
time. Oh, hell to the yeah.
Remember when I went home? There's like so many Dairy Queens by where I live,
Mm.
and like I went home and I sent you guys the picture of my Dairy Queen. Like, hell yeah!
I love Dairy Queen, man.
I know you like the dipped.
Well, I like the dipped, and I found an ice cream shop in my neighborhood that actually does the dipped.
Oh,
so,
wow.
yeah, dippity dip dip. They'll do it with the chocolate dip, and then it becomes hard on the cone, and then the red one, the cherry one. I freaking
think
love
it's
that
strawberry,
stuff.
isn't it?
Is it? I always thought it
I
was
don't know,
cherry.
I've never had it.
Oh. Well, it's good. Oh, sorry to see Rite Aid go. I think they got annihilated by CVS. I think that's what happened. I
And
think people-
Amazon.
Oh, and Amazon? Why?
Yeah.
Do you guys pick up prescriptions? Do you have prescriptions at Amazon?
They recently started doing that about a month or two ago.
God, Amazon
Yep.
owns the world,
They
man.
do. They really
freaking
do.
own the world.
Not
They
me,
sell
dude.
cars on Amazon
I get enough
now.
crap from them. I'm not doing my prescriptions from them.
Hey, but
Really?
if you could call and order it and have it sent to you like in a drone the next day or within a couple
No,
hours,
I will go and I will stand in line at CVS or Walgreens and do it, and I'll stand there with the little old elderly people.
If you have any medications, okay, and you have to get the prescriptions refilled, let me ask you guys this. Do you guys wait until the prescription is like done and then you're desperate and you're like, I don't have this anymore? Or do you actually plan in advance like, hey, you know what?
Well,
Looks like I've only got about a week left.
You could set up like
refill.
an auto refill
Yeah, that's
thing.
what I do, and then
as
I
long as the
deliver
doctor
it.
approves it, you're
Right,
good, and then
but-
it'll text you when it's ready.
So that's what happens, right? So okay, I've got a prescription. I'm ashamed of this, but I'll be willing to admit it, okay? I take a couple of medications, and it really bothers me that I take any pills at all. Because when the doctor told me that I had to take these pills, I was like, Doc, I don't want to take pills. And he said, well, he goes, I'll tell you what. He goes, I got a lot of guys your age that come walking into my office, and I tell them go right to the emergency room because we're about to crack your chest open. He goes, you're taking this medication as a preventative measure.
it's science, Cap. It's okay.
Well, and so I just trust my doctors. You know what I mean? Like, that's why I got vaccinated. I was like, hey, that's what they told me to do. That's what I'm going to do. But, George, I'm with you. I get the text from CVS. It goes, hey.
And you were waxed, by the way.
I was waxed. That is true. And vaxxed. I get the text from the CVS. It says, yo, man. Hey, man. Hey, man. Your prescription is ready, babe. Okay? And then what happens is I never go to get it. Then I actually get to the bottom of the pills, and I'm like, oh, my God, I'm going to die tomorrow because I don't have these pills. Like as if they're really life and death. Right. And then I finally go back. I go to CVS. I walk in. I go, hi, here's my name. Here's my date of birth. And they go, oh, yeah, well, that was like 6 weeks ago, and we don't have those
Yeah,
anymore.
because they only keep it filled for like 2 weeks, and then they
Yeah,
put
why
it
did
back
you
on the
wait so
shelf.
long?
Because I'm a procrastinator. You
Listen,
guys know
well,
this.
I'm gonna tell you a
that's-
trick.
But it literally texts you, hey, like, you got
Hey,
one more
man.
day to go get it, or you got
Right.
5 more days to get it, and you just kept putting it off?
Cap,
Always.
Both Walgreens and CVS will do like if you order it, you could do like same day delivery or mail order. Like both of them will just mail it to you, and they have
Yeah,
it
but
where
why? If they're texting you to tell you, hey, man,
Hey, man.
it's you only got 5 more days, or
Right.
4 more days, or 3
Yeah.
more. Just go get it.
I know.
Well, even
And
if you can't, you could still have it delivered to you for like $5.
I didn't know that there
Right.
was delivery, but
Oh,
here's
yeah,
what I
I
will
do
tell you.
that.
So now I'm all stocked up. Now, instead of having like a bottle of refills, I got like,
like
5
4.
bottles of refills.
Yeah.
So now I'm good, man. In fact, I'm starting to move medicines all around. Where I'm stashing medicines in the E Central so that if I forget my medicines, I got them at the E.
Okay.
I got medications in my office at ESPN LA just in case I forget. That's how much medicine I now have.
Okay, great,
Awesome.
Cappy. That's good.
That's not good. It's not good at all. Cholesterol's high. Blood pressure's just a little bit high. I'm
Yeah.
taking all these meds now. It's not good.
Yeah.
I mean, do you want to be like back in the old days, like the Oregon Trail, where you die from diphtheria,
Oh,
Wait,
diphtheria was
wait.
the worst on that
distemper?
game.
Wait, what
whatever it
happened to
is?
Oregon?
I'm just saying, like, it's the science is advanced. It's okay to take medications to, like, allow you to live longer and be healthier. It's
All
okay.
right.
There's nothing wrong with that. Don't be ashamed
Hold
of
on.
it.
DeAndre, you take any medications, man?
I do not know.
See, I'm jealous of that.
Why
See,
is that?
He's also 25 years old.
Yeah, he's 25, Cappy.
healthy.
I don't take the only medication I take, and I take it like only for a certain stretch of time because you have to take it for like 2 weeks and then you're good for like several months. Is omeprazole, which is just like a GERD and like heartburn and stuff like that. Then that's it.
Little GERD, huh?
Yeah, a little GERD.
I take
You got a
omeprazole every day.
Just a little GERD?
Yeah, you're not supposed to take it every day though. I don't think.
No,
Well,
it
unless
takes
your
a while.
doctor says so.
It takes a while for it to.
Yeah, you're supposed to take it for like 14 days.
Yeah.
I mean, I
and then take it as needed after.
Oh, I need it every day.
I mean, I take my vitamins like fish oil.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah,
What about some Flintstones?
Yeah,
You take
you know
any
what I do?
Flintstones?
For years I've been taking like a little magnesium glycinate to go to sleep. Oh, it's so nice.
I take
No, no,
magnesium. It's great. It
Smoke
seriously
weed,
does
bro.
help.
Nah, just smoke weed. Nah, take some gummies.
You know, when I was in high school, I overdosed on Flintstone vitamins
How you do that?
because my friend and I bought them, and they were so good that we were just like, oh, we're just going to keep
Popping
eating
them like
these.
Tic Tacs. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
then we were in computer lab, and somebody was like, you guys look really orange.
Yeah, we just pounded like 12 Betties. You know what I mean?
Well, we literally
Like-
ate like an entire bottle of them, and I guess there's so much vitamin C, it makes your skin have like a tinge to it.
Put down 13 Wilmas.
Swear.
Yeah.
No, we got in trouble. We had to go home.
Hey,
Had 20
careful.
Barneys.
This one. We got. We're in the ER. What? Too many Dinos.
Right. She had 30 Freds.
Yeah.
We had to go home. We were like in trouble for it.
Right. You know what happened? She had 45 Bam Bams.
That's exactly right.
That's what happened. They're the yellow ones. She
So,
had 45
Lindsay-
Bam Bams.
As I'm looking at the rundown here, for this segment, you have Stephen A. and some sound and commentary about Thunder and Denver Nuggets. But then you have Bergie thinks OKC will blow Denver out in the next 3 games. Do you agree? Bergie who?
Bergman.
Gregory Arthur?
Yes.
Gregory Arthur made the rundown?
Wait, when did he say that?
No,
Yeah.
I told you this, Cap, when we were doing our prep call.
No, I know what you said, but my question is where and when did he say it? Did he say it on Mason and Ireland?
No. Him and I were talking about the Thunder because I was playing the clip of Stephen A. talking about how he didn't think that this was what was the word that he used?
We can just hear it, Stephen A. What did he say? Let's just hear it.
Did he say bloviate?
Here's what he said.
Clearly, the Denver Nuggets did not show up. I mean, what an atrocity to give up damn near 90 points in the first half. I mean, they clearly had no interest in playing game 2. They came and got what they wanted in game 1, and they took game 2 off because there's no team in history that has been that atrocious defensively in a half that I can recall. Having said that, this is a team as great as Jokic is, as great as Jamal Murray can be in the postseason. I cannot stop giving love to Russell Westbrook because I know that brother with that fire in his belly is going to have these brothers ready to fight. They will not resemble this team in Game 3. And Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is just so special. He's so smooth. He's something to behold, no doubt. And he'll be rightfully crowned MVP in the next couple of weeks or so. He is special. But this is going to be that last night was not indicative of how this series will go. The games will be tighter, far more competitive than what we saw last night.
I'm with him, by the way. I'm with him on that brother, Russ. I'm with him on that brother because that brother will tell the other brothers that hey, we got to have some energy. We can't be letting down defensively like that. So that brother, Brody, he's a special brother, and he's going to get all them other brothers ready to go.
You love you some Brody.
I do.
So I was playing that and cutting the sound, and then Berg happened to be walking by, and he was like, I feel like they're just going to blow him out the rest of the way. And I was like, really? I feel like the exact opposte's going to happen.
I don't think so. I
If
think
I'm Denver, I'd be like, man, bleep you.
So Denver is, well, first of all, the Thunder are 4.5-point favorites on the road tomorrow.
Okay. All right. It's a big line. Yeah. I mean, to be that many points on the road. Okay.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm trying to see here real quick.
And that's where you are. You're in Denver. Is that right?
Correct.
That's why today, George, while you're looking at what you're looking for, that is why I asked DeAndre to pull one of his favorite songs, a song he grew up to, he knows every word to, John Denver's Rocky Mountain High. Knowing that you were in Denver and knowing how much DeAndre loves John Denver, because DeAndre, it's interesting. You know a lot about John Denver. Is that right?
I'm a huge John Denver fan.
Really? Yeah.
Love him.
Really? You want to sing this song to us?
That's beautiful. That is beautiful.
Hey, that's nice, man. That's really nice. Here we go. Yeah.
All right, that's enough of that.
Yeah, it's a good song. It's a really good song.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think it's. I actually think Game 3 will be closer. I don't think they're going to blow them out 3 straight times. I think that OKC will blow them out at least one more time, maybe 2 in this series. But because I told you guys, they're not. So OKC is not. They don't have a lot of a large sample size, let's call it, of close games this year. They played the least amount of clutch games this year, Cappy. So for those that don't know.
Because they had the largest point differential of any team
NBA history,
ever in
right.
NBA history.
Wow,
Correct.
you tell them, Lindsay,
He
basketball.
said that multiple times. Even Ramona pointed it out the other day, remember?
Ball knowers.
Yeah.
Total
right.
ball
And that's
knower.
why I've been so big on the Thunder. So they've only played 24 clutch games, which is games that get to the fourth quarter or overtime, 5 points or less, either way. So, yeah, they've only played 24 of those games. Now, they were 16-8 in those games. But, yeah, they haven't played a lot of those games because they've been blowing everybody's doors off.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, they're probably going to blow them out at least one more time. I don't believe that to be Game 3, though. I could be wrong about that. But I think that Denver first game at home, I think, in theory, they should play well, barring an injury.
I'm still – I guess I'm going to say it like this. I'm rooting for Denver.
Yeah.
Kind of the same way I'm rooting for Golden State.
Oh, you're rooting for Brody. Just be honest.
I mean, I am now a Brody lover.
And why are you rooting for Golden State? I'm just curious.
Because
What's
I
that
kind
all
of
about?
I feel like it's like the old guys versus the young guys, right?
Yeah. I'm with
like,
you.
Like Denver, not that they're old,
But Steph is not
they're-
going to play for a couple games at least.
Well, I know, and that's and the way that Golden State won Game 1 when Steph wasn't there, but they
Yeah, Buddy Hield's not going to hit like whatever it was, 9 threes again or whatever. Not like that. You know?
Remember when the Lakers were talking a lot about Buddy Hield a couple seasons ago? Like we were talking about they need a laser. Buddy Hield was a guy that was on everybody's radar, and you see what he is. He was.
Although
invisible.
Buddy Hield had at least a 2 or 3 month stretch during the season where he shot terribly and shot like 30%, and then the rest of the season he was like on fire like he is now. So there has been some ups and downs to Buddy Hield's season this year.
Well, all I know is this: is that when LeBron told everybody that the Lakers needed a laser, and nobody even knew who Buddy Hield was because he was stuck in Sacramento, Buddy Hield would have been a nice addition to the Lakers. At least now when I see him playing for Golden State and I see him draining those threes, I'm like, man, that would have been nice to have for the Lakers.
And then he was in Indiana. All right, Cappy, tell him about your friends at Coors because you mentioned LeBron. I want to get into what LeBron said on his podcast next.
So do I, because he not only said some things that are interesting about his future, but he also said a lot of interesting things about the coaches. We'll get to it. First, let me say this. Icy cold Coors Light. I'm holding one right here. If you're watching on the YouTube, you can see right over my shoulder that I've got my beautiful Coors Light neon sign that I love so much. Look, the days are getting longer. The sun is staying out longer. Summertime is literally right around the corner. And the one thing that we all love to do here in Southern California is we like to chill, which is why I always encourage you to go to the website, CAChooseChill.com. That's CAChooseChill.com. And whether you're hiking out there this weekend or you're on the beach, and while you're on the beach, that plane comes flying right over the beach and it's got that Coors Light sign right behind it, or you're just out there supporting your favorite teams, or you're just watching any of the playoffs, what brings us all together, it's great friends and icy cold Coors Light. So pick up your Coors Light. You can get it right near you anywhere, but you can also have it delivered right to the crib. Visit CAChooseChill.com. That's CAChooseChill.com. 2025, Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado. Celebrate responsibly and cheers.
Don't navigate the legal system alone. Hey, it's Travis. At the personal injury law offices of Joseph S. Normand, they will fight tirelessly to get you the max compensation you deserve. Joe and his team understand the emotional and financial toll that an injury can take on you and your life. Call 213-747-2000 or visit normandlegal.com. The law offices of Joseph S. Normand have helped thousands of people like you recover millions of dollars in settlements and verdicts. Visit normandlegal.com or call 213-747-2000. Your recovery is their priority.
Your next Subaru is waiting for you at Subaru of Glendale. Check this out. Lease a new 2025 Subaru Crosstrek Sport CVT for just $299 a month plus tax for 36 months. One at this payment. VIN S37-03172. MSRP $31,935. $33.99 due at signing. Call 888-855-6434 or check out SubaruofGlendale.net. On approved Tier 1 credit through Subaru Motors Finance. No security deposit. 10,000 miles a year. Model code SRD-21.
Hey, John Ireland here for Thrive Cybersecurity. We all know in sports that defense wins games and turnovers kill you. That's also true in business. The truth is 1/3 of businesses will unwittingly turn over their sensitive company data to thieves this year. Don't let that happen to you. Remember this website, thrivenextgen.com/ESPN. Thrive starts with a comprehensive cyber risk assessment. Their security analysts identify gaps and deliver proactive solutions to help keep your network healthy and protected. It's not a matter of if, it's when. Get ready. Visit thrivenextgen.com/ESPN. That's thrivenextgen.com/ESPN. Play defense, use Thrive, and protect your business.
Right now at Park West Bicycle Casino, the progressive jackpot is over $3 million, and when it hits, it'll be the biggest jackpot ever won at any LA card room. Poker, blackjack, ultimate Texas Hold'em, even baccarat, all eligible for the progressive. Brand new players who sign up for their player rewards get $30 in match play. Park West Bicycle Casino, where the stakes are high and the rewards are massive.
Please gamble responsibly. Problemgambling.ca.gov. 1-800-GAMBLER. GEGR-001291. GEAR-001292. GEAR-001298. BSIS license number 1358.
Individuals and businesses with tax problems, listen carefully. Do you feel like you're losing control of your finances? If you owe over $10,000 in back taxes or have unfiled tax returns, we can help you take back control. The IRS is the largest and most aggressive collection agency in the world, and they can seize your bank accounts, garnish your paycheck, close your business, and file criminal charges. Take control of your tax problem now by calling the experts at U.S. Tax Shield and take advantage of the Fresh Start program and new laws that may allow us to negotiate a settlement for the lowest amount possible. Our team of tax attorneys and enrolled agents can stop collections and get you protected so you can take control of your financial future. U.S. Tax Shield offers a price protection guaranteed quote to get you protected today. U.S. Tax Shield is A+ rated with the Better Business Bureau, so call now. 800-687-5192. That's 800-687-5192. U.S. Tax Shield. 800-687-5192.
And it is Sedano and Cap, your Thursday afternoon. Happy 34th birthday to Olivia Culpo. Of course, she's expecting a little child with her husband Christian McCaffrey soon. And on this day in 2021, the number one hit, The Weeknd and Ariana Grande, Save Your Tears. Sedano and Cap continues your Thursday afternoon right now.
Do. Yeah. Yeah. Doobie. You know, George, DeAndre really loves it when I turn all songs into like a crooner, you know?
Yeah.
When I doobie him, you know? Mm-hmm. As a matter of fact, this is a complete side note. I know you want to get to LeBron, and we should get there.
By the way, I do have we should mention that Jim Lampley is going to join the show.
Yep.
You were at his book signing yesterday and hosted
Right.
it. I will have to leave during the interview at some point because I've got to go run and do some work-related things here downstairs in a conference room.
Okay.
But I do real quick before we get to the LeBron portion of this. I want to tell you at 45 after Radio Tinder.
Okay.
What some of my greatest Jim Lampley memories are as a broadcaster.
Okay.
Because I'd love to ask him about a couple of these down when he comes on and chats with us for a little while. But
I was telling Mason in Ireland that last night after the interview that I did with him, we opened it up for questions, and one guy asked him a really interesting question. He asked him about his relationship with Roy Jones Jr. and Max Kellerman, and man, Jim was super candid. He's like, dude, Max Kellerman. He goes, I was super close with Max Kellerman. I have hung out with Max many times at Jim's house for birthday parties or celebrations. And he's like, dude, gone. Nobody talks to him. Nobody can find him. Doesn't return anybody's messages. Just absolutely gone in the aftermath of ESPN. I'm like, wow, I'm surprised to hear that.
Well, Cappy, I think the way – look, I don't know Max like that at all. Like, I mean, again, just very casual, informal conversations, hello, goodbye kind of stuff. Always super pleasant with me. But – yeah, like I didn't, I think that when, some people the way it went down, he probably was like, you know what, I'm going off the grid for a little while, and good for him.
Well, actually,
and
Jim said,
and if he wants to do that, then so be it. Like, everybody handles things differently.
Yeah, I think Jim I think he said he was super embarrassed by all that had happened. And, I guess, listen, if I were in Max's shoes and he made a lot of money.
Who was super embarrassed?
Max.
Well, I don't know about that.
Well, I'm just telling you. I mean, Jim was really tight with him.
Because I don't know what
you don't have to say it. I mean, Jim said it. I'm just telling you what Jim said.
Okay.
So anyway, back to just one thing before LeBron. DeAndre likes it when I turn everything into a crooner song. Did you know this, George?
Mm-hmm, yes.
And I told him today, I said, hey, listen, I don't think George is going to like it when I start playing the Go New York theme.
I don't care.
You don't have a problem with it?
I mean, I don't care.
Okay, because I had a backup song that was a very New York-y sort of a thing, Yeah. And DeAndre had never heard this song before. You want to know what song it was?
Yeah, I heard about this.
He'd never heard of Sinatra's.
Start spreading the news.
But this isn't even Sinatra.
That's not Sinatra.
This isn't even Sinatra.
That's some like.
Isn't it?
No.
Absolutely.
Now that
is him.
That's Sinatra.
Well, yeah, this
that's like some sort of AI generated thing, because that's not really.
It's something that we had in Wide Orbit, so it's probably some kind of like duo with someone. Duet, right? Duet.
Yeah, but it's probably not like a real duet. It's probably like an AI generated thing.
Oh, it was in the system.
Well,
he's never heard it, so he
never
wouldn't know.
never heard New York. And George, you know what I thought would happen?
What?
I thought you'd say I don't like Go New York, Go. Then I thought you might not even like this song. New York, a little.
That's fine. I don't care.
So I was prepared. I was ready to go 3 deep. Which is
why wouldn't I like those songs? I don't care.
I don't know. I just figure you don't seem to be supporting the Knicks.
So
I'm
why
supporting
would I
the Knicks.
support the Knicks? I'm not supporting the Celtics either.
Well, I'm just that boy good is right. I'm supporting the Knicks. I'm all in on the Knicks. Knicks going to win this thing. Knicks going to shock the world.
All right, let's talk about LeBron real quick, because we're
Go
running
ahead.
out of time here, because we've literally been starting every segment about like 5 minutes late, and then we talk about nonsense for 5 minutes, and then it's time to go to break, and we haven't done anything yet. So let LeBron on the Mind the Game podcast with Steve Nash. All right, Steve asked him about kind of what the next several months will look like for him. Here's what he said.
Take some vacation time with the family. Some of the times that you lose, obviously when you're in the 8-9 month season. And see what this next, what the next journey looks like. I haven't had the conversation with the family yet as far as me going forward or whatever the case may be, but we'll see what happens.
Mm-hmm.
Now what? Go ahead.
What do you want me to tell you? First of all, 1,000%, 1,000% LeBron is playing next year.
Yeah, I agree.
Not 999%.
Well, Shams has already said that he's reported that his sources tell him he's going to play.
Yeah, well, so do my sources.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. My source is Steve Nash. My source is LeBron James himself. Mm-hmm. I mean, he can't just come out and tell you, oh, yeah, of course I'm going to play next year, because that's not his style. But 1,000% LeBron James is playing next year.
Look, if it were me, if I were on Team LeBron, okay, and he's really now considering like, all right, when am I going to call it quits? And he wants to play next year, which everyone believes he does. I would make next year the last year. Make it the farewell tour, year 23 for number 23. There's all this easy
symbolism
you can do around it, right, for sure. So that's what I would do if I were advising Team LeBron, not that I am.
You're not?
I am not.
Oh, okay.
Contrary to popular belief, I'm not.
Look, I don't know why he does this. I don't know. Is there a strategy to it? Is it a negotiation? Is it I'm going to opt out and I'm not really sure, and you guys are going to have to incentivize me to come back, and I got to make all this money?
Well, I don't think he said any of that. You're just making all that up right now.
I'm asking. Right. I'm not I'm not saying that he said it.
You're
saying
just
that
mad that he can't just come out and say, I'm playing next year.
Well, I'm not even mad about it, but I don't know what not even annoyed. I don't know why the need for drama.
Because that's what he does.
Drama? He wants to figure it out.
Yeah.
And he wants to plan it. It's his career.
Sure.
Oh, you don't.
By the way, when you're done, don't you want to do it on your terms?
Yeah, but let me ask you something. You think that in all seriousness, like he's gonna talk to his queen, he's gonna talk to his princes and his princess, He got to sit down with the entire royal family and say, okay, y'all, what is the king going to do? Is the king going to continue on, or is the king going to hang it up?
I don't know what their inner workings will be, but I'm sure they'll talk about it. You know what, Cappy?
Yeah, tell me.
When you're walking away from 7-10, okay, you're going to want to talk about it with people and have a conversation like, this is how I would like it to end. And hopefully everybody obliges.
Well, here's the one thing I can tell you. I don't know LeBron. I don't know his agents. I don't know his managers. I don't know his queen. I don't know any of them. That brother playing next year.
Right. But I think there's a matter of, is this going to be the last year? You know? Like, I think there is something to that, too.
You think he's going to do like a farewell tour, like where every arena he goes to, they have to like have a pregame ceremony?
He should do that. Everybody, I mean, all the greats have pretty much done that.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
I'm trying to remember the last NBA
Kobe?
player.
Dwayne Wade?
Well, I'm just thinking, when Dwayne Wade, he announced in advance.
He did all those jersey swaps, every arena, every game he played with different players on different teams.
Okay.
Kobe had a farewell tour. Once he acknowledged that he was going to be done at the end of that season, everywhere he went, the other organizations, showered him with all sorts of stuff.
I can remember it in baseball where baseball players would announce their retirements. Hey, this is my last year. And then everywhere they'd go, like there'd be somebody giving them a gift. Hey, you're here in San Diego. We're giving you a surfboard. He's like, how the hell am I going to travel with this thing?
Famously, Paul Pierce did not get one. And remember Draymond say they don't love you like that.
Yeah, I would tend to agree with that.
On the free throw line. By the way, Paul Pierce apparently had to walk 20 miles from his house to the Fox lot today.
Oh, my
I saw
God.
that on social media.
Oh, my God. I saw that also where Paul Pierce was like, if the Celtics – first of all,
he said
he's super
yesterday
confident.
on his show that if the Celtics lose, I will walk 20 miles from my house to this studio.
Yeah, and barefoot, by the way.
Well,
Not
he didn't
just,
do it barefoot.
Well, did he actually do it today? Did he walk it?
They filmed it.
When he said that, first of all, I was like, where is Paul Pierce on TV? Didn't know. Assumed it was like some Boston, Celtics pregame,
He lives in
postgame.
LA.
I didn't know. That's my point. I didn't
grew
know.
up in L.A.
I understand. But when I started to watch him on social media, I was like, where is he an analyst on television? And then once I saw they panned out to the panel and I saw Keyshawn, I was like, oh, Paul Pierce works for Fox. Had no idea. Sorry, Paul. Haven't seen you on TV since you left ESPN.
Okay, great. What does that have to do with the conversation?
It has to do a lot with it because here's the thing. What's the course from where he lives to get to the Fox lot? What's the course? Is it easy? Does he have to walk on the side of the freeway? Can he get through city streets? And by the way, if he was going to walk barefoot like he said he was going to.
Well, he definitely wasn't going to walk barefoot.
There could be glass on the ground.
Right. Yeah,
he
didn't walk barefoot.
Could be very dangerous,
I
George.
saw it on his social media.
He actually did the walk.
Yeah.
Impressive. Man of his word. Impressive. By the way, George, like Clipper Darrell, who hit me up last night and said, hey, I don't appreciate being called out. And I said, called out? I didn't call you out. I said, all I did was say we got to close the loop on this bet. So it's coming, George. Clipper Darrell in Bronny's warm-up gear is coming.
All right. I love it, Cappy. All right. So, look, LeBron will figure it out. You'll figure it out with Clipper Darrell.
Paul Pierce will figure it out. Paul Pierce will figure out how to get us to watch.
He's probably pretty tired. He's probably going to need a massage today. But he's good. All right, coming up next, Cappy, Radio Tinder. But first, let me tell all our friends out there, Mother's Day's right around the corner, man. Yo, it's just a couple of days away. What the hell are you waiting for? Get on Books now. Get booked up, okay? Books is short for bouquets. Get those flowers from Mom. It's almost here. She took care of you, man. Made you chicken soup when you were sick. Took you to school, practice, whatever. Mom sacrificed a lot for you, so you should do this for Mom and make her happy. Return the favor. And, look, I sent a Happy Mother's Day gift from the Books Company, short for bouquets. Go to Books.com, BOUQS.com. Use the promo code ESPN. Get 25% off. You still got time, man. Books aren't just any flowers. Cut fresh from the best farms. They're bigger, brighter, and last way longer. And some even grow on the side of a freaking volcano, man. Wow Mom with a bright, happy bouquet, or go for the flower subscription so she gets the fresh blooms on repeat. It's easy, guys. If you want to do the one-off and you want to do it quick right now, you could do that. Pick the delivery date, and you're good to go. All right? I've already done that. You can, too. 25% off. Promo code ESPN. Don't stop with just Mom, too. If you're going to get 25% off, get one for your wife, your auntie, your abuela. Hook every lovely lady in your life up on Mother's Day. Look, guys, you can't forget Mom. Again, it's just a couple of days away. May 11th is right there, right down the street, right around the corner. Whatever you want to say, whatever analogy you want to use, go get it now. Go to Books.com. Promo code ESPN for 25% off. That's Books.com. Bouqs.com. Promo code ESPN. Books. Promo code ESPN.
The most followed sports radio station in the world.
In the world. That's right. In the world.
710 ESPN.
You know it. Yeah, tell your friends.
At ESPN Los Angeles on Instagram, Facebook, X, YouTube, TikTok, and Twitch.
We're naturally entertaining.
Yes.
LA's mega sports station. 710 ESPN.
Is it time to downsize? Selling your home doesn't have to be a hassle. With Seller's Advantage, skip agents, commissions, and costly repairs. Get a fair, competitive cash offer without worrying about the details falling through. Chris Chavez, a real customer, says, quote, Seller's Advantage offered me more than I expected. The process was fast, easy, and much better than using a realtor. End quote. Call 888-390-AS-IS or visit sellersadvantage.com for your free cash offer.
DRE number 01961658.
Don't worry, sell happy with Seller's Advantage.
Hey, everybody, it's Cap, and I want to talk to you for just a minute about PrizePicks, my absolute favorite app. Download the PrizePicks app, use my code CAPPY, K-A-P-P-Y, make a $5 play, get a $50 bonus. You've heard that before, but let's talk about this. Now that the basketball season is over and we're into the postseason, do you want to go VIP style to the championship? Would you like to do that? I'm sure you would. Basketball's championship series is not that far away. Every lineup you make on PrizePicks will enter you in the Takes-Two ticket sweepstakes. It's on right now on the PrizePicks app. And this could get you and a +1. So you and your guest are going VIP style to the ship, okay? The ship, as in the championship. Download the PrizePicks app. Use my code CAPPY, K-A-P-P-Y. Make a $5 play, get a $50 bonus. PrizePicks, run your game.
Every 40 seconds, a child is reported missing. That's 2,000 children every single day. It's a heart-wrenching reality that we can no longer ignore. Find the Children is a non-profit organization dedicated to helping find missing kids. You can be a part of their mission by donating your unwanted vehicle, running or not. Call 1-800-294-0222. We guarantee that you will receive the maximum tax deduction. We provide fast, free pickup with 24-hour response. Call 1-800-294-0222. Find the Children provides crucial resources to help find missing children and educational materials to teach kids how to recognize and avoid predators. Our recovery programs have a proven track record of reuniting kids with their families. It's time to act. Donate your unwanted or unused car. Help us build a world where every child is safe. Pick up the phone and call 1-800-294-0222. Together, we can bring these kids home safely. This advertisement was paid for in partnership with Cars R Us and Find the Children.
And it is Sedano and Cap, your Thursday afternoon radio Tinder time. We like to play a TV theme. How about this one? On this day in 1976, the #1 hit, John Sebastian.
Welcome back.
Welcome back. TV theme to Welcome Back Connor. Mr. Cartier. This is where Cappy's going to talk about Boom Boom Horse Shack. You can follow her at Lindsay Baseball on Twitter or Instagram. Don't forget about our new sponsors, the Crazy Hernandez Brothers. If you're in the market for new flooring, shop at Hernandez Wholesale Flooring, where every day is a deal. No gimmicks. Call 866-62-FLOOR, F-L-O-O-R, or go to HernandezWholesaleFlooring.net. No sale beats wholesale. Take it away, Finney Lindsay.
Thanks, Christopher. I'm actually going to throw it to DeAndre because he has a very interesting radio Tinder question. More
Nice.
interesting than mine.
Nice. Not Boom Boom Horse Shack, by the way. Freddie Boom Boom Washington.
Well, whatever.
And Horse Shack was a completely separate guy.
Yes.
The
horse.
Very important details.
Alrighty, so I'm going to start this one out because the Falcons' first-round draft pick, Jalen Walker, will wear number 11. And I saw something on Twitter. Someone quote tweeted this by saying Julio Jones is the fastest player in history to 10,000 receiving yards, 11,000, 12,000, and 13,000. He also had the most seasons averaging 100 yards games, plus most games with 250 receiving yards. And he's also stated that, but the Falcons gave away his number 11 with quickness and don't retire it. And Julio Jones just retired this past April. So my question to you guys is, should this rookie have consideration?
No. It's ridiculous. Stop. We talked about this yesterday. That's even worse. The guy literally just retired.
Going to disagree here, George. So here's the thing. The story that we were talking about was...
Right. Those guys' numbers were retired. His number's technically not retired yet, correct?
But it should
Correct.
be.
Well,
but it will
wait
be.
a second.
Right.
But wait a second. If he played at Colorado, it would have already been retired.
Oh, stop.
Well, look at what happened.
But we're not talking about Colorado. We're talking about the Atlanta Falcons.
Yeah,
that's
It's
my
not a
point.
franchise.
Do you
That's
think
my
the
point.
Falcons should have given him that number?
No, I don't think they should have. I think
I
it's
agree.
sacrilege.
Okay, but
I
let me
agree.
ask you. But let me ask a question. Just point of information here. Is Julio Jones's number 11 retired?
No.
It's not retired, no.
Okay, so if it's not retired, I have a question. Is it not free game?
I mean,
It is free game, yes.
I don't
So
think
then-
it is. I think that it's one of those unwritten rules type of things where it's sacrilege. You shouldn't be doing it. That guy should be self-aware enough to know that he's going to get a lot of crap from people by wearing that number.
Okay. I as
now
is
listen,
usually the case, I'm a man on an island.
I guess there
I'm
is
an island
precedent.
boy.
I guess there's precedent for wide receivers because, like the Cowboys, they give the best wide receiver 88, right? Drew
Michael
Pearson,
Irvin.
Michael Irvin, and now CeeDee Lamb. So I guess, but I've never heard the Falcons do any of that stuff.
Yeah, that's
you know
not
what I
a
mean?
thing there.
I mean, Julio Jones was a great player.
He was probably the best player ever for in franchise history for the Falcons, no?
I don't know. You don't
He's
think
in the
Steve
conversation.
You don't think Steve Bartkowski was awesome?
I don't know who that is.
Bartkowski, no,
Not gonna lie.
I'm pretty sure somebody is still wearing number 15, Captain.
so,
I think
yeah,
it's
I
Drake
mean,
London that's wearing 15, no?
maybe. Not
Yeah.
sure. I mean, look.
because it was not. They're not. To my point, they're not going to retire Bartkowski's number.
I mean, look. All I'm saying to you guys is that there is a difference between the conversation we were having about Lawrence Taylor's jersey and Phil Simms' jersey because those are in the rafters.
I will give you a more recent example.
All right,
This
let
guy
me hear
just
it.
went into the Hall of Fame. Okay.
Okay.
Andre Johnson.
Okay.
It's not retired by the Texans, but it's not in use.
Yeah, because they have respect for him.
Well, what number is it?
And you know that Julio
80.
Jones is going to go to the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, but listen. Then the Falcons should organizationally tell this young guy, "Hey,
Correct.
That's the
That's
point.
what we're
They should- they
saying.
should
Right, but
not-
I don't agree. But I'm saying
Oh,
that
whatever.
I'm saying that that's what they should do if they plan on retiring his jersey.
What was your number at Pitt?
9, not retired. Not even close.
And it shouldn't be.
No, it should not be. Not at all.
I think at the very least that this draft pick should have done some type of public thing where he asks him if it's okay if he wears his number. At the very least. But I think that he is, I don't know, I just feel like it's not a good idea.
George, you want to know how unretired my jersey is at Pitt, my number 9?
Yeah.
They got a guy on offense wearing 9, and they got a guy on defense wearing 9, and he ain't the same guy.
Well, isn't this guy Kanata Mumfield?
Yeah, he was number
with
9.
the Rams drafted,
Yeah,
wore 9. I
he
do
was
remember
9.
that. Yeah,
Right.
yeah. Kanata Mumfield wore 9. Although, I did reference you as a Pitt legend, Scott.
You
Campbell.
did indeed. I
On
mean,
a
you may have
broadcast.
exaggerated a little bit, but I appreciate it because all my teammates then texted me and went, "That guy on ESPN just called you a legend." Well, he was. He wasn't talking about.
Did you finally tell him I was in the bag for you?
Yeah,
or no?
I did. I said, look, he wasn't talking about my playing career. He was just saying that he's kind of a legendary guy.
Yeah.
And then I told him the truth. I'm like, that's my partner. That's my broadcaster.
By the way, Drake London wears number 5. I got that one wrong.
Okay,
He
come
wore
on, man.
15. He wore 15 in college. My
All
bad.
right,
He
do
did.
better.
He did.
Do better, bro. Do better. That's
All
probably
right,
because
what's
Steve
next,
Bartkowski's
Linz?
15 is probably retired.
Yeah. Next, Linz. Go ahead.
Oh, no, that's it. We gotta
Oh,
go.
that's all we got?
Yeah,
all right, yeah,
because-
let's get back on time. Seriously.
Dr. Clapp is next.
Because Dr. Clapper's next. Although, real quick, one of my favorite Jim Lampley moments.
All right.
Okay?
Mm-hmm.
Now, I feel like, for me, the one that, and he may hate this, but the Pacquiao-Clottey fight. Do you remember that fight?
Are you going to tell me bang, bang, bang?
Oh, my God. I loved every second of that because when he was doing it,
Right.
I was doing it with him
I know.
when I was at my house.
You want to know the funny part about that? It's one of my favorite moments, too. If you never saw it, Lampley was going, "You want more? Bang! You want some more? Bang! 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 Bang!" And I loved that call. And guess what, George?
He hates it.
Hates it.
I know.
Yeah,
I
hates
figured.
it.
That's why I brought it up to you first.
He hates it. And it was a great call. It really was. In fact, the name of the book, it happened when Foreman knocked out Michael Moorer. Jim felt like, why did I not prepare some kind of a line for this? And he just started screaming, it happened! It happened! And that's where the book title came from. Because when people see him, they'll actually say that's like his most famous call. It happened. It happened. Who would have thought that 45-year-old George Foreman would knock out a newly minted southpaw first ever heavyweight champion in Michael Moore?
There are a lot of great fights. Fernando Vargas de la Hoya was a great one. Golovkin, Canelo. There's a bunch of them.
Yeah, and you know that Jim just called fights last weekend in New York City where Beto was.
Yeah.
And he was funny last night. He's like, it was great to get back to calling fights. Unfortunately, it was a horrible night of fights.
Yeah.
He said all the fights were terrible.
I know. It was really bad.
I didn't see any of it.
Says. Yeah, that's what everybody says.
I didn't see it.
But yeah, there's so many fights, man, that he was so great at. All right, real quick.
One thing we got to do, though, we got to do is this, is that when we get Jim Lampley on the show and while you're still here, if you go to the University of North Carolina this year to call any games, and I know with Belichick they might, not put you there, whatever.
Yeah. But I could still go to, Durham is really close to Chapel Hill, too.
All I'm saying is this. When you go to North Carolina, you go see Jim Lampley.
Okay, fair enough. But first, Cappy, let me tell you about my home away from home. LAX changes arriving daily, man, at LAX. People Mover trains are rolling in early next year as part of LAX's ongoing investment to improving your travel journey. The new trains will quickly move guests between all terminals, new consolidated rental car center, metro trains and buses, so you don't need a car anymore to get to LAX, economy parking if you do have a car, and the Kiss and Fly lot, Cappy, your favorite. All in 10 minutes or less, and they depart every 2 minutes once they open in early 2026. Less than a year away, man. Learn more about all these changes at this website, lawa.org/ESPN. That's lawa.org/ESPN. Dr. Clapper is next. Jim Lampley after that.
Travis Rogers and DeMarco Farr.
Back tomorrow at 9 a.m. after Clinton and Friends.
I always wanted to be on the field crew for baseball.
Yeah,
I never got to do it. I want to do that.
So here's when the kids were in Little League, doing field prep is the sweet spot.
Oh, fun. Yeah.
Because it's
dragging the field.
Peaceful.
Yeah.
It's quiet. You're outside.
That's
it's
cool.
Sunny. I love it.
Turning on the sprinkler.
Spraying the dirt with the hose.
Love it.
Dragging the field.
I think when you got to bring out, when it rains, and you got to bring out the tarp.
Oh,
I always wanted to do that.
That looks like hard work. I'd like to avoid
fun.
hard work.
And I would mess it up, and I'd get run over by the tarp.
It happens occasionally where somebody stumbles and they just, by the way, that would be terrifying. Stuck underneath that thing. Right? That's not like a piece of saran wrap. That is a heavy-duty piece of vinyl or whatever it is.
I may have to bring out
really
the Rambo
scary.
blade.
I would lose my damn mind if I got run over by that cylinder.
I'm getting claustrophobic.
That would be crazy.
Weekday mornings at 9 a.m.
It's Travis and DeMarco
on 710 ESPN.
Thy ticket, Lady Jennifer of Coolidge.
Well, many thanks, good sir. Here'th my Discover card.
They accept Discover at Renaissance fairs?
Yeah, they do here. Discover's accepted at the places I love to shop. Getteth with the times.
With the times?
You're playing the lute. Yeah, and it sounds pretty good, right?
Discover is accepted at 99% of places that take credit cards nationwide. Based on the February 2024 Nielsen report.
It's your captain speaking. To the passenger with the Mirror Fast soft shoes, smart move.
No way am I letting travel constipation ruin this trip.
Can't blame you. Mirror Fast works fast, but without the harsh side effects.
Since I'm such a smart traveler, can I move to first class?
No. Close the curtain, Carol.
From the makers of Miralax, new Mirafast soft chews work naturally with your body in as little as 30 minutes to give you a comfortable go on the go. Look for Mirafast at Walmart today. Use as directed for occasional constipation. Contains magnesium hydroxide.
Individuals and businesses with tax problems, listen carefully. Do you feel like you're losing control of your finances? If you owe over $10,000 in back taxes or have unfiled tax returns, we can help you take back control. The IRS is the largest and most aggressive collection agency in the world, and they can seize your bank accounts, garnish your paycheck, close your business, and file criminal charges. Take control of your tax problem now by calling the experts at U.S. Tax Shield and take advantage of the Fresh Start program and new laws that may allow us to negotiate a settlement for the lowest amount possible. Our team of tax attorneys and enrolled agents can stop collections and get you protected so you can take control of your financial future. U.S. Tax Shield offers a price protection guaranteed quote to get you protected today. U.S. Tax Shield is A+ rated with the Better Business Bureau, so call now. 800-687-5192. That's 800-687-5192. U.S. Tax Shield. 800-687-5192.
And it is Sedano and Cap. Your Thursday afternoon. Today is No Socks Day. Just like our friend DJ Ray. Ray on the mic over, of course, from the Mandy's and from Lakers games. And on this day in 2000, the #1 UK song, Britney Spears, Oops, I Did It Again. Sedano and Cap continues your Thursday afternoon right now.
Oh, yeah. This
Get
is
it.
peak Britney right here.
Get it.
Even Clapper knows this, and he doesn't know the hip. Or he knows the hop, but he knows the hip.
I know a lot about the hip, but not the hop. I just want to let you guys know there's going to be a segment on ABC TV tonight that I did with Kurt Sandoval. But when I was in the newsroom, I met Rob Fukuzaka for the first time, and he was just gushing at how much he enjoys Thursdays when I come on with Sedano and Cap. It warmed my heart to hear him say that.
Rob Fukuzaki is one of the nicest human beings in the world, despite the fact that Steve Mason has some sort of blood feud with him that I don't understand.
Does that surprise you?
But he's got a blood feud with everybody.
I know, and by the way, I can't tell you how many times I've run into him where he's been like, dude, I love you guys. You guys are awesome. I'm like, bro, thank you from you, a guy who's been at it as long as you have and has been in L.A. as long as you have. Boy, that's a great compliment. So we appreciate you guys.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
shout out to my boy Kurt Sandoval.
Yeah, no doubt. We love both of those guys. Hey, real quick, before we get to Dr. Clapper here, Cap, it's a Live Nation Ticket Thursday here on 710. Caller 7 right now at 877-710-ESPN will win 2 tickets to the Outlaw Music Festival. Willie Nelson, Bob Dylan, Billy Strings, Sierra Hull, all live at the Hollywood Bowl on May 16th. Just check that. Is it May 16th? Yes, May 16th. Get tickets now at Ticketmaster.com. Call now for your chance to win. So 877-710-ESPN, 877-710-3776.
That's next Friday night, Jack.
Yeah. So, Dr. Clapper.
Yes.
Teoscar Hernandez, the latest of many Dodgers, it seems like, to be dealing with injuries. What can you say about his current situation?
So they first thought it was his left hamstring. And lo and behold, he has an MRI on Tuesday, which shows that it's not the back of the thigh where the hamstring is, but he actually has trouble in his groin, the adductor muscle, and it's a grade 1. But I want the listeners to understand why this is a devastating injury. And even though he's feeling better and maybe he'll come back sooner, they better let this heal 100%. Because whenever you hear that there's a groin injury or an adductor injury like he has, I'm here to tell you, and I want to teach you guys with some Clapper vision, that it is not just one muscle that needs to be rehabbed. And here's why. Here's the Clapper vision. When you sit on a horse and you want to steer the horse, you got those 2 leather straps, one on the right, one on the left. You got to balance the pull of those leather reins to make sure the horse goes straight. It's got to be equal tension. And then you want the horse to go to the right, you pull on the right. You want to go to the left, you pull on. But you got to balance to keep his head straight so that he walks straight. Well, the horse's head, now take your hand and feel in the front of your crease of your groin. Okay? Right there is the horse's head. That's the ball and socket joint. The horse's head is right there in front in the groin. And you have a balancing act. And you have actually 6, not 1, but 6 different leather straps, 2 on the horse, but you have 6 around the horse's head, which is your femoral head, your hip joint. The one in front flexes your hip. That's the psoas muscle. The one in the back that extends your hip, the opposite, is the hamstring. The one that brings your leg over to the middle is the adductor. That's the one he tore. The one that brings you out to the side, abductor. And finally, to rotate your foot out versus in. 6 degrees of freedom, 6 different muscles. So when you tear, grade 1 strain means a microscopic tear, one of them, the other 5 go haywire in trying to be balanced, which they're not. And that's why this injury is going to keep him out for a while.
By the way, Anthony Davis had that similar injury.
Yes, amongst many.
That's right. Doc, when you say like microscopic tear,
yes.
So did you call it earlier grade 1?
Yes.
Okay, so how many grades are there? What I'm trying to figure out is it small, take your time, let it recover, you'll be fine, or is there another version where it's like, this is really bad, you're not coming back anytime soon? Because Teoscar Hernandez was one of the leading home run hitters in all of Major League Baseball before this happened. They need him.
So let me take you, Cappy, into an MRI scanner, if you don't mind. Believe it or not, in 2025, the world we live in now, the most modern, I use artificial intelligence to do knee surgery now. I mean, it is state of the art. And yet, the MRI that he underwent is still a black and white study. It's like looking at television, not ignoring that there's color TV. It's black and white. And yet the radiologists, they don't want to change. You know why? Because in the black and white study are shades of gray. And so when you do an MRI, when you say you have groin pain, they're looking to see the muscle. Is it black? Is it white? But if there's some gray, and the amount of grayness, the shading of it, determines whether it's grade 1 just partially torn or completely snapped in half. Bright gray signal, that's how they'll say it's grade 3. So the subtleties of, and it's a big difference, completely torn versus partially torn, is literally made on the shade of the color gray.
Dr. Clapper, one more before we let you go, and thank you for the time as always.
It's my
the Warriors are playing tonight, right? And, Steph Curry, I mean, you saw him walk off. He was hot to start the game, 13 points in 13 minutes, and then had to walk off because of a hamstring situation. What are the Warriors looking at potentially with Steph? Could he even potentially come back for this series? How many games do you think he might have to miss?
The answer is it's this. Let's pretend Anthony Edwards. He's 23 years old. He has a grade 1 hamstring tear. Anthony Edwards is a different guy because he's 23 than a 36-year-old Steph Curry. So even though it'll be the same injury, to answer your question, you got to be super careful with Steph Curry and not let him come back too soon. And I get it's the playoffs. So ordinarily, you would shut him down 3-4 weeks, no question about it. Wow. If George Sedano, grade 1 tear of your hamstring, I'm going to shut you down 3-4 weeks. But it's the playoffs. He's got to come back. They've got to do this perfectly right between days off. My understanding is from when the tear occurred to when he can come back 4 or 5 games, it'll be about 2 weeks. That's when I see him coming back. Because if he comes back sooner than that, he is going to make the grade 1 into a grade 3, or worse than that, because remember his ankles, he's going to light up and create another injury elsewhere.
Wow, because, they did say, George, like, he'll be back in a week. And it was like, he may come back in a week because he has to, right, but he may not be himself. And the likelihood of him being anywhere near 100% is probably like 0.
Well, yeah.
And remember this, Cappy, we in orthopedic surgery, we cannot enhance or speed up a healing of a torn muscle. Despite what you're going to read about stem cells and PRP, there's still no shampoo that's going to make that hair grow on top of my head, no matter what they say.
Well, Dr. Clapper, you're the best. Thank you for stopping by each and every Thursday. We love you, buddy.
Okay, we love you back, too. Thank you so much for the time, and thank you, Lindsay.
All right, take care, guys. Take care. There's Dr. Clapper. All right, hopefully we got a good winner there, Linz, for the concert, too, for the Outlaw Music Festival on May 16th there at the Hollywood Bowl.
I may go to
thanks
that.
to Dr. Clapper. You should. Thanks to Dr. Clapper as well. All right, Jim Lampley's going to join us. I'm going to sit in for a little bit, then I got to run. Cappy will take it away from there. Jim Lampley on the other side.
Hey, guys, it's Cap. Here's the scenario. Your home is flooded and the damage is severe. Now it feels like your insurance company is turning on you. They won't approve a replacement living arrangement, and the adjuster leaves you in the lurch. Take a breath and call Avner Gatt, one of Southern California's largest public adjuster firms. Avner Gatt knows how to fight back when your insurance company makes you feel like a criminal, leaving you with no hope of getting into your home and getting it all back together. With decades of experience and a passion for helping people, Avner and his family take the call themselves. So whether you have a toilet overflow, a broken water line, a burst supply line, a broken fire sprinkler, whatever the water damage is, you call Avner Gat today at 818-917-5256, or you go to avnergat.com. It's 818-917-5256 or avnergat.com. You call, Avner answers, he says hello. Your claim is our game. avnergat.com.
At Children's Hospital Los Angeles, we're a nationally recognized leader in pediatric care, honored by U.S. News and World Report as one of the best in the country. Here, we achieve amazing breakthroughs that change lives. From groundbreaking cancer therapies that offer new hope to young patients, to advanced heart procedures that save lives, we partner with families to conquer challenges and achieve extraordinary outcomes. Choose the best care for your child at chla.org.
Cappy here to tell you about my great friends at Ocean Subaru of Fullerton. I'm a huge fan for so many reasons. The safety, technology, versatility, reliability, and they're all about the Subaru Love Promise. The cars are spacious and sporty. You got to go see my boy Omar and his team at Ocean Subaru of Fullerton. They're focused on your needs, and they're the most knowledgeable people when it comes to getting you into the right Subaru. Ocean Subaru, 1100 South Euclid in Fullerton, just off the 91 freeway. Go to OceanSubaruOC.com. That's OceanSubaruOC.com. Ocean Subaru of Fullerton, where every journey starts with love.
Hi, it's LeBron. The Lakers play here.
710 ESPN.
KSPN, Los Angeles.
A good karma brands radio station.
This is the city, Los Angeles, California.
It's 5 p.m. in the Southland.
Turn it up, man.
Time to blow that 5 o'clock whistle with Sedano and Cappy.
That's right, it's the 5 o'clock hour on Sedano and Cap. And it's time for 30 minutes non-stop.
Sedano and Cap on 710 ESPN.
With fun and frivolity, tomfoolery and hijinks, and Cappy doing his thing, thanks to our friends at Real Father's Rights. Real Father's Rights, the father's rights attorney.
Visit RFR710.com or call 833-ESPN-710.
Let's do it, 5 o'clock in the Southland.
30 minutes of non-stop Sedano and Cap starts now.
You ready for this? And time for the Real Father's Rights 5 o'clock hour on 710 ESPN. Let's do it, Jack!
Bing, ba-dum, bum.
Yeah!
Boom, bing-dum, bum, ba-da, ba, bick-a-ding, da-dum, bum. Boom, ba-dum, bum.
All right, Cappy.
Yep.
The man of the hour is going to join us. And the new book, you were out there yesterday with him. It Happened is the name of the book. Uniquely Lucky Life in Sports Television. The great Jim Lampley joins us here. Jim, thank you so much for joining us. I stuck around. I have to. You will appreciate this. I'm doing sidelines for the Thunder Nuggets the next two games here in Denver, and I'm at the team hotel and doing the show. And I will meet with some of the players here shortly. But I wanted to stick around to chat with you for a few moments with Scott because you've meant so much to me. As someone who's grown up watching you all my life and continues to watch you, and I'm a huge fan of what you've done. My dad and I, who's no longer here, may he rest in peace, we bonded over a lot of fights watching you. My Cuban father loved boxing, so we saw a lot of HBO boxing, particularly with you, Jim. So thank you so much for joining us. This book, why did you choose Cap to introduce you yesterday? That's really my biggest question.
Good question.
Why did I what?
Why did you use Cap yesterday to work the room for you?
Well, I've known Scott for a long time, and he has been a supporter and a friend for a long time. And if I want to sell the book, I want to be with friendly interviewers, and certainly he is one of those. And also, he knows the Jim Lampley behind the scenes in the same way that he knows the Jim Lampley on camera. From his professional expertise, he knows who I am on camera, on microphone, etc. And from our long personal knowledge and personal friendship, he knows the other part. So he was able to blend those very well in the bookstore without stepping too deeply or embarrassingly into my sometimes tricky personal life.
Jim, it's interesting, George, you're talking about growing up a Cuban kid in Miami. I don't know if you know this or not, George. You know that Jim himself also spent a lot of his childhood in Miami. Did you know that?
I did not know that.
Yeah. Jim, what part of Miami were you from? Because, George, what part are you from?
So I grew up in Hialeah.
So we were far apart. If we were there at anything like the same time, and I think I'm probably way a predecessor to you, but my mother moved us from Hendersonville, North Carolina to Miami in 1961. My first address was 8280 Southwest 64th Street. Eventually, we moved to 9760 Southwest 72nd Street.
So Kendall.
Which was in Miami at that time, that was called Sunset Drive.
Right.
There are Sunset Drives, obviously, all over the country.
Yeah.
Most of the time that I lived in Miami, I lived in the somewhat grubby tract rental house area of Southwest Miami, not too terribly far from Tropical Park, the horse race track, and I went to Southwest Miami High School, which was kind of a poor neighbor to Coral Gables and Palmetto, both of which were a little bit higher wealth scale, a little bit more elite. I always wanted to date girls from Coral Gables High School, but I had to try to satisfy myself with the girls from Southwest instead.
Hey, listen, nothing wrong with that.
Purple Eagles.
Yes.
Southwest Purple Eagles. You know that your high school sports teams aren't great when they wear purple and white, because all the other good colors have been taken up by the schools around you.
Yes, that's for sure.
But interesting part of the book, Jim, that I really loved, and again, I'll tell everybody here in a couple of minutes about what Jim is going to be doing at the Wild Card Boxing Gym with Freddy Roach this upcoming Saturday. And if you want to get out and see Jim, see Freddy, get pictures, autographs, get the book, etc., Jim will be out there, and I'll give you all the information on that in a few minutes. But Jim, it's interesting that probably the first most important fight that you were ever at in your life was as a young kid in Miami, when everybody said there was no way that this guy, Cassius Clay, could ever beat a guy like Sonny Liston. You were there as a Cassius Clay fan. George, you got to hear this story about Jim's very first fight that he was ever at. Jim, I sounded like Harold Letterman there. Jim!
You do sound like Harold Letterman. Brilliantly so. I saved lawn mowing and car washing money for months when I was 13, 14 years old to put together enough money to buy a ticket to Cassius Clay versus Sonny Liston at Miami Beach Convention Center, February 25, 1964. I don't remember whether that ticket was $100 or $150. I'm pretty certain it was three figures. My mother was stunned, but I did get through all of the lawn mowing and car washing necessary. My mother drove me over to Miami Beach, dropped me off at the convention center, went out and killed time for a few hours, and therefore I was a witness to what was at that moment in time the biggest upset in boxing history, Clay's seventh round knockout win over Liston. Seventh round knockout because Liston quit on the stool. Clay was embarrassing him with his speed and craft, and Liston was clear in his head that he was not going to be able to knock him out, and he quit on his stool, and the audience was stunned into silence. They couldn't believe what they had watched. Cassius Clay became heavyweight champion of the world. 2 days later, he stood on a street corner in Miami near Brickell Avenue and told two reporters that he was a follower of the Nation of Islam and his new name was Muhammad Ali. So I had to deal with the emotional transition of that at age 14. Not terribly easy, but I got through it. I learned a lesson. I learned that his identity was his and not mine. And then, of course, the sequel to that is that 26 years later, February 10, 1990, I called on HBO the fight that succeeded Clay Liston as the biggest upset in boxing history. And that, of course, was Buster Douglas's knockout of Mike Tyson in Tokyo.
Yeah, listen, I remember that. I've told Scott this story. that I was my dad, as I told you, big boxing fan. He didn't even want to pay for the fight. He's like, this fight is, it's going to be a disaster. This is going to be silly. I'm not wasting my money on this. So he took us to Disney World. We drove from Miami to Orlando to Kissimmee, Florida, and went to Disney World that weekend. We went just for the day. We came back Friday night, and I'll never forget this. We were almost home. We were probably like less than a mile from my house. And just coincidentally, we ran into my cousin at a red light, and he's screaming at us. He sees it's us, and he's like, Mike Tyson just lost. Mike Tyson just lost. And then obviously we saw it later on the replay down the road, I think a week or so later on HBO. And, yeah, for me growing up, that to me, that was my version of Cassius Clay and Sonny Liston. It just was I couldn't fathom what I was watching even when I saw it a week later, knowing exactly what had transpired.
Well, you might have fathomed it better, and a lot of people might have fathomed it better if they had paid closer attention. And I cannot give myself credit for being able to say this before the fight, but as I was watching the fight, I had enough background and awareness to realize what it was that I was watching. If you looked at Tyson in the 2 years before the Douglas fight in Tokyo, he went the distance with James Bone Crusher Smith. He went the distance with Tony Tucker. He went the distance with Mitch Blood Green. He went the distance with James Quick Tillis. There were scorers at ringside who had Tillis actually winning the fight. What did all of those fighters have in common? They were all taller than Mike. They were longer than Mike. They could throw a right hand that would come over the top that he couldn't see coming. Douglas was the best athlete of the bunch, a former college basketball player. And he had all those attributes that the other fighters had and put them all together on that day in Tokyo, and the fight was not close. It was a mismatch until Buster knocked Mike out in the 10th round.
Jim Lampley. Hey, Jim, since we're talking about boxing, which there's a lot to this book, and boxing is a part of it, and I'll get to a little bit more of that in a second, but I want to just jump in. You talk about Oscar De La Hoya a lot in this book, and how many of his fights you called, and how impactful Oscar was as a fighter, and obviously now as a promoter. Talk to us about your experience of calling a lot of Oscar's biggest fights.
Well, I met him at Barcelona in 1992 when he was a teenager, winning his Olympic gold medal. And the story was captivating. And dedicating the gold medal to his mother, who had died of illness within the preceding year. And we bonded at Barcelona, so that when I began to call his fights on HBO, we were already friends. And he was comfortable around me. And I was able to get information from him before fights that probably some broadcast reporters might not have gotten. And he had talents that predicted his success in the ring, most specifically that sizzling left hook, that rocket left hook. He was born with it. Yeah, I used to always say on the telecast, that hook came out of the cradle. He did not have to learn it. And he had learned a lot of other stuff. He had an outstanding instructor in East LA as an amateur, and then ultimately he was trained well as a professional. And he's a bright guy, as he has proven as a promoter, and he was magnificently handsome. The single distinction I always assign to Oscar, based on what I saw at a fight in El Paso, Texas, against a non-essential challenger named Patrick Charpentier, where there were 50,000 people in the Sun Bowl, and the overwhelming majority of them were women, many of them single women who came to the fight in groups of 4 or 5 without any male accompaniment. And I have often said, Oscar De La Hoya sold more tickets to individual female ticket buyers than any other athlete in American history. I'm absolutely certain that is true.
Yeah, I would agree. I mean, if you've seen and we talked about it a lot on the air, the Oscar De La Hoya documentary, and just remembering those times was incredible. Jim, I have to run here in a second, but I wanted to ask you about one more fight that I grew up watching. I'll never forget. I was 12 years old watching this fight. It was Julio Cesar Chavez against Meldrick Taylor, the controversial ending TKO by Richard Steele. How did you view that fight and the way it ended? Because, look, Chavez is a legend, there's no question. But I really felt like, man, I would have loved to have seen what would have happened if it would have gone to a decision.
Bad stoppage. Fewer than 5 seconds remaining in the fight. Meldrick Taylor, an American Olympic gold medal winner, had fought the fight of his life. Yes, he ran out of gas in the 12th round. Yes, Chavez was ripping him and hurting him. But Meldrick had not been down. And I think that one of the things that tilted the deck against Meldrick that day was that Lou Duba, his trainer, got up on the apron of the ring and yelled at him when he was getting up in the corner and distracted him and caused his attention to waver. And Richard Steele stopped the fight with fewer than 5 seconds to go, giving Chavez the win in a fight that Meldrick had won on the scorecards. I thought it was a bad stoppage. And my justification for continuing to say it is that Richard Steele, an outstanding referee except for that moment in time, was never again introduced at a fight in Vegas without being booed. People understood that he had done something unjustified on behalf of Chavez in that fight.
Wow. All right, George, you going to take off here?
I have to run. I've got to chat with the Oklahoma City Thunder. Jim, an absolute pleasure and honor. I'll leave you here with Scott, and thank you for taking the time.
My privilege. Thank you.
All right, Jim Lampley on Sedano and Cap. His brand new book is called It Happened. By the way, one of his most famous calls, probably his most famous call, because, Jim, could you explain why the phrase "It Happened" became the name of the book?
The phrase "It Happened" became the name of the book because the book is about luck, circumstance, coincidence, all the things that affected my career that we could not have seen coming, how I sort of came out of nowhere, winning a talent hunt I shouldn't have won, to become the first person to ever stand on the sideline of a football game with a camera and a microphone, how I was groomed at ABC Sports to ultimately succeed some of the senior commentators in major roles until a new executive came in to run the division and decided that the biggest thing he wanted to do was get rid of me, and decided that the way to get rid of me was to assign me to boxing, not realizing that his division had just signed a contract with a 19-year-old heavyweight from upstate New York named Mike Tyson, so that the first several television fights I called were Mike Tyson fights. By the way, boxing was the first sport I had fallen in love with as a kid. He didn't know any of that. He thought that my style made it clear that this was going to be a bad match and boxing would destroy me. Boxing wrote me a ticket to the most prestigious television network in the world, HBO. So, it's all a matter of unexpected coincidence, things that should not have happened. As for the title, It Happened, that comes from my call of George Foreman beating Michael Moore at age 45 to become the oldest heavyweight champion ever. And the reference was that George had told me 3 or 4 times in the lead up to the fight, when we were working together on other fights, I would pull him aside at a production meeting or at a crew meal or something and say, George, how are you going to beat Moore? He's a southpaw. He's a mover. Holyfield couldn't find him. Holyfield has much better feet than yours. What's the plan? How are you going to beat him? And every time I asked him that question, George would fix me with his implacable gaze, no expression, and say, Jim, you watch. There will come a moment late in the fight when he will come and stand in front of me and let me knock him out. So go watch the 10th round on YouTube and tell me there's a better description of what happened than he will come and stand in front of me and let me knock him out. So as the referee's counting, and I realize that I now have to frame this astonishing moment in boxing history with something that I'm going to say on the air, what comes into my mind is what I would have said to George. It happened. It happened. Just the way you told me it would happen. But I didn't say just the way you told me it would happen. That would have been too much. Mm-hmm. It was just, it happened. It happened. In terms of word economy and getting the idea across, it's probably my best call ever.
Jim Lampley on Sedano and Cap here on 710 ESPN. This upcoming Saturday at 2 o'clock, Jim is going to be at the Wild Card Boxing Club, which, if for those of you that know it, 1123 Vine Street in Hollywood. This is Freddy Roach's place. It's one of the most legendary boxing gyms on the planet. Jim will be signing his book. He'll be signing autographs. And, Jim, it's really amazing that the signing happens in the Wild Card Boxing Gym right there in Hollywood, because you had a great affection for Freddy, which ultimately everybody knows you from your work on Wide World of Sports and all of these legendary boxing calls. But then at some point in your career, you actually made a move into producer of content, not just a guy in front of the camera. What inspired the documentary series that you did on Freddie?
What inspired the documentary series I did on Freddie was my admiration for the courage and perseverance of people who deal with Parkinson's disease. When I was a caddy at the Hendersonville Golf and Country Club as a boy in Hendersonville, North Carolina, I caddied for a woman who had fairly severe Parkinson's. And Parkinson's people are advised to find ways to exercise and stay active so that they can maintain body function for as long as possible. And she played golf, Mrs. Green, almost every day. There were people at the club who would not play golf with her because they could not bear to watch.
Are we breaking up here, guys? Jim, I think we're breaking up a little bit. Lindsay, are we breaking up? Just want to make sure. Jim, are you still with me?
Let me go over to the window again. Didn't want to play golf with her because they didn't like to watch the process.
Wait, hold on one quick second. Linz, let's reconnect with Jim because he's in the middle of a really good story here. Jim Lampley is on right now on Sedano and Cap here on 710. And the question that Jim was just telling us was, he's having this book signing this upcoming weekend at the Wild Card Boxing Club. One more time, for those of you guys that want to make it, a lot of you guys will know where this is because it's such a famous spot. 1123 Vine Street in Hollywood. And Freddy Roach is one of the all-time most legendary trainers. And I was asking Jim, what inspired him to do this documentary series that he'd put together for HBO years ago, which obviously leads to the relationship as to why Freddy would be hosting this upcoming Saturday. So Lindsay's about to call Jim back. And by the way, let me just tell you guys something right now. Yes, we're close, obviously. And yes, I read every page of this book, which it's probably been a while since I've gone cover to cover with any book. If you're a Jim Lampley fan, if you're a boxing fan, if you're a sports history fan, if you, like me, geek out on sports media, this is a book that is a must-have. And by the way, I can say that with Father's Day coming up, I don't need to go crazy over trying to sell this thing, but this will make a great gift. Jim, you were talking about people with Parkinson's and why you had this affection for Freddy Roach. You were mentioning a woman that you caddied for in Henderson, North Carolina.
Hendersonville.
Yes, thank
you. Henderson is Charlie Rose's hometown.
Okay.
Hendersonville is mine.
Okay.
But at any rate, a woman named Mrs. Green, for whom I caddied as a kid, she was a fairly severe Parkinson's case, and she played golf almost every day, which was something the doctors advised her to do to maintain physical function. There were people at the club who would not play with her because they could not stand to watch the difficulty that afflicted her. She had difficulty closing her mouth. Her tongue would hang out, and she had difficulty talking sometimes because of that. But she was a lovely lady. I always asked to caddy for her because I admired her courage and her perseverance. Now, fast forward from there, I don't know, 40 years, whatever it is, until I become friends with Freddy Roach and begin to watch Freddy going through his process. And, he continued to be one of the greatest trainers in boxing. He continued to run the Wild Card Gym. His symptoms amped up, which is something that happens with Parkinson's. And ultimately, as head of Crystal Spring Productions, which had a producing contract with HBO, I put together with Peter Berg as director a 6-part documentary series, which was basically a study of how Freddy dealt with Parkinson's. And, we were in the gym every day. We watched him train fighters. We shot him. It was what's called a totally naturalistic documentary. We shot him and recorded him film and audio from the moment he got up every day until the moment he went to bed at night. There was never a waking moment when we did not have the camera and the microphones trained on Freddy Roach. And from that, we developed a really enlightening and educational look at what Parkinson's is, how you deal with it. And again, going back to Mrs. Green, and especially, of course, with Freddie, the courage, the perseverance, the dedication that it takes to get through that day after day after day. I'm amazed, totally amazed, that he's still doing what he does. It's a Herculean task, and he couldn't have done it if he weren't an astonishing human being.
Jim Lampley on Sedano and Cap. His new book is called It Happened. He'll be with Freddy Roach this upcoming Saturday at the Wildcard Boxing Club, 1123 Vine Street in Hollywood. And you can get Jim's book. You can get an autograph. You can get pictures. Hey, Jim, one more thing before you go. You did go from ABC and working on Wide World of Sports and all the other things that you were doing at ABC, and you actually did what most people do in reverse. Most people work at a local television channel, and their dream is to get to the big network. You went from the big network here to L.A., and you started to do local news. Started as sports, but then it became news. A lot of people who are in our audience probably grew up watching you on local television news. Can you just tell the story of how that happened? And the reason I ask is because I see Jim Hill at Dodger games, every Laker game, and you mention him in the book that it was his move that opened the job for you to come to L.A.
Well, at the moment when Dennis Swanson took it upon himself to force me out of ABC Sports, and even though he signed me to boxing and I was doing Tyson, and that was great, it was clear that he was, and he told my agent that he was not going to live up to the terms of my contract in terms of Olympic exposures and other events that I was supposed to cover, that he was going to do everything possible to make me as uncomfortable as I could possibly be to get me to leave the network. And eventually, I wanted to fight it, but my agent convinced me, no, this is pointless to fight it. You're just going to wind up looking more and more lame on the air because he is determined to do this to you. So now I was out of a network job, and not at a moment when NBC or CBS network divisions had any logical place for me, any spot that I could easily fill. There were other people doing college football and NFL football and things of that nature. So it was a moment of sort of enforced vacation in my career, and I had to try to figure out what to do next. And at that point, my agent said to me, look, an amazing thing is happening in Los Angeles, and it's going to create a great possibility for you. I said, what's that? And he said, well, Jim Hill is leaving KCBS TV as the sports director at KCBS, and he's moving over to KABC TV. And I didn't know a lot about local television. I mean, I had been on a network ever since I was 24, 25 years old. And he tried to get me interested in replacing Jim Hill as the sports director at KCBS TV. And I said, but Art, I've spent my whole career on a network, and local television sportscasters don't make as much money, right? And he said, Jim, what you need to understand is that Hill's contract that he's leaving behind at KCBS is bigger than your contract was at ABC Sports. And the contract he's moving to at KABC TV is even bigger than that. So that was a piece of vital information that I had not previously understood. And it became a really great idea to go to KCBS TV as the sports director. And then not terribly long after that, in fact, the following year, I ran into a situation where I accidentally covered a news event on CBS Network. And I came back to KCBS. It was after Wimbledon. And the news director called me in and said, did you see all those videotapes on the wall? And I said, yeah. He said, we're getting rid of those videotapes today. I said, what are they? He said, they are male news anchors. And we just saw our male news anchor on the air, on the network yesterday, I'm going to move you from sports director to primary news anchor. So it was irresistible because it was so ego gratifying. And I moved from sports director to primary news anchor at KCBS TV. Of course, once you do that, you're getting into the most cutthroat of ratings competitions. And ultimately, Bree and I were not able to boost the ratings the way they had expected us to at KCBS Channel 2. And I wound up going back to network television sports with NBC Olympics and HBO and all that stuff. But it's all in the book. We're giving away too much of it here, Scott. These are interesting stories. But, you know, as I said last night, Jim Hill is a great friend. Jim Hill is somebody, you know, if I had to pick out my 10 closest friends in the business, the people on whom I would rely when I need help or advice, Jim Hill is absolutely on that list. Fantastic person. I love him. And I'm so glad that he moved from KCBS to KABC at the right moment in time for me.
Jim, we'll see you on Saturday with Freddy Roach at the Wild Card Boxing Club, 1123 Vine Street. It's happening at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. If you are a Jim Lampley fan, if you're a Freddy Roach fan, if you're a boxing fan, if you're a sports history fan, if you geek out on media like I do, this book is for you. And, Jim, let me tell you something. We didn't give away anything to this book because there are so many incredible stories. I'll leave it for everybody to read. Jim, I love you, buddy. I appreciate you. Thank you for last night, and we'll see you on Saturday.
Thank you. Really appreciate it, Scott.
All right, there you go, Jim Lampley. The stories in this book, I'm telling you guys, Lindsay, DeAndre, the story of the 1980 Olympics, what Jim was doing the day that the phone rang where his bosses told him, you better get over to the arena because something crazy is about to happen. And Al Michaels was on the call. Do you believe in miracles? And then what Jim did after with Micah Ruzioni and Jim Craig, who were the heroes of that U.S. team. Incredible. The stories of all the boxing matches, the names that show up in this book, from O.J. Simpson to Donald Trump, long before Donald Trump ever thought about being the president. You have to read this book because Jim's life is just that amazing. Hard to believe, but as the book says, it happened. All right, Lindsay, DeAndre, you guys ready to go? We'll get into some big deal or no deal. That's 30 minutes commercial free. What do you guys say?
Let's do it.
All right, here we go. Before we get there, I want to just say really quickly that right now at the Park West Casino, and you guys know Park West, the bicycle casino, it's all brand new, and the progressive jackpot is over $3 million. When it hits, it will ultimately be the biggest jackpot ever won ever in any California card room. Just minutes from downtown L.A., the bike is back and better than ever. And by the way, I knew that because I had a buddy of mine who called me and goes, hey, we're all moving, because these are all card players, we're all moving from this place over to the bike. And I said, oh, that's great because we're working with the bike right now. They got new ownership. They've made incredible renovations. They've got all these upgraded amenities, and it is a whole new way to experience L.A.'s premier card room. It is Park West Bicycle Casino. You can play all your favorite games: poker, blackjack, ultimate Texas Hold'em, Crazy 4 poker, which I don't even know what that is, 3-card poker, even baccarat. All, by the way, eligible for the progressive. It is not just big. Let me tell you, this is going to break records. And for all the ESPN LA listeners, new players who sign up for the Players Reward Program get $30 in match play. All you do is you walk in and you say, Cappy sent me to get my $30 match play. And if you think I'm exaggerating, a guy sent me a message the other day. He walked in. He said, Cappy sent me to get my $30 in match play. And they gave him a card. And there's a picture of me on the card pointing at everybody. And here's your $30 of match play. Park West Bicycle Casino, where the stakes are high and the rewards are massive. Come see what everybody's talking about at the all-new Park West Bicycle Casino. Here we go. Big Deal or No Deal is next.
Travis Rogers and DeMarco Farr.
Back tomorrow at 9 a.m. after Clinton and Friends.
I always wanted to be on the field crew for baseball.
Yeah,
I never got to do it. I want to do that.
So here's when the kids were in like Little League, doing field prep is the sweet spot.
Oh, fun. Yeah.
Because it's
dragging the field.
Peaceful.
Yeah.
It's quiet. You're outside.
That's
it's
cool.
Sunny. I love it.
Turning on the sprinkler.
Spraying the dirt with the hose.
Love it.
Dragging the field.
I think when you
got to
bring out, when it rains, and you got to bring out the tarp.
Oh, no,
I always wanted to do that.
That looks like hard work. I'd like to avoid
fun.
hard work.
And I would mess it up, and I'd get run over by the tarp.
It happens occasionally
I know.
where somebody stumbles and they just, by the way, that would be terrifying. Being stuck underneath that thing, right? That's not like a piece of saran wrap. That is a heavy-duty piece of vinyl or whatever it is.
I may have to bring out the Rambo
scary.
blade.
I would lose my damn mind if I got run over by that cylinder.
I'm getting claustrophobic.
That would be crazy.
Weekday mornings at 9 a.m.
It's Travis and DeMarco
on 710 ESPN.
Next Gen is the official AC, heating, plumbing, and electrical company of SoCal sports fans. That's right. Is your heating and AC system ready to power through the season? From quick tune-ups to full replacements, Next Gen has you covered. For a limited time, ESPN LA listeners can get a heating and AC tune-up for just $88. That's right. Stay in the game all season with an $88 heating and AC tune-up from Next Gen. Call 833-3-NEXT-GEN today.
NEXGEN. Call 833-3-NEXT-GEN.
Hey guys, it's Cap. Here's the scenario. Your home is flooded and the damage is severe. Now it feels like your insurance company is turning on you. They won't approve a replacement living arrangement and the adjuster leaves you in the lurch. Take a breath and call Avner Gatt, one of Southern California's largest public adjuster firms. Avner Gatt knows how to fight back when your insurance company makes you feel like a criminal, leaving you with no hope of getting into your home and getting it all back together. With decades of experience and a passion for helping people, Avner and his family take the call themselves. So whether you have a toilet overflow, a broken water line, a burst supply line, a broken fire sprinkler, whatever the water damage is, you call Avner Gatt today at 818-917-5256 or you go to avnergatt.com. It's 818-917-5256 or avnergatt.com. You call, Avner answers, he says hello. Your claim is our game. avnergatt.com.
Individuals and businesses with tax problems, listen carefully. Do you feel like you're losing control of your finances? If you owe over $10,000 in back taxes or have unfiled tax returns, we can help you take back control. The IRS is the largest and most aggressive collection agency in the world, and they can seize your bank accounts, garnish your paycheck, close your business, and file criminal charges. Take control of your tax problem now by calling the experts at U.S. Tax Shield and take advantage of the Fresh Start program and new laws that may allow us to negotiate a settlement for the lowest amount possible. Our team of tax attorneys and enrolled agents can stop collections and get you protected so you can take control of your financial future. U.S. Tax Shield offers a price protection guaranteed quote to get you protected today. U.S. Tax Shield is A+ rated with the Better Business Bureau, so call now. 800-687-5192. That's 800-687-5192. U.S. Tax Shield. 800-687-5192.
And it is Sedano and Cap. Your Thursday afternoon on this day in 1912, Paramount Pictures was founded. And let's say happy 50th birthday to the great Enrique Iglesias. Sedano and Cap continues your Thursday afternoon right now.
Yeah, it's Sedano and Cap on 710. Thursday afternoon. George is taking off to go chat with the Oklahoma City players because he's in Denver, getting ready for that game tomorrow. Had Jim Lampley.
If he's glazing them.
Oh, you know he's glazing them.
Thank
oh, my God.
Me share in your aura.
Oh, my God. Once he sees Shea, oh, my God, dude, thank you so much. Thank you so much for me allowing to be in your presence.
Thank
and
you for letting me share in your aura.
That's right, sharing that aura. That's exactly
You're
right.
You're right, Cappy.
Thank you, Georgie. Thank you. Okay. Time for a little big deal or no deal. But before we get there, let me just ask you guys this question. I mean, Jim Lampley's a legend. DeAndre, I know that he may be a little before your time, but should I say it? Do I have to say you ain't know nothing about no Jim Lampley?
You might have to.
Really?
Yeah.
Damn, dog.
Just a little bit. Like I said, just a little bit. I know a little bit of him.
Yeah.
I know a little bit about him because I used to produce a show. I was actually just talking to DeAndre about it during the break. I used to produce a show on Sirius, and the host of the show was very into boxing. And one time we did our show on remote from Vegas. It was the first time I'd ever been to Vegas, actually. It was the week, they did like a Radio Row type of thing the week leading up to the Deontay Wilder championship fight against Ortiz.
Yep.
And so, of course, Jim Lampley was there. And, you know, he joined our show, I think, maybe once or twice that week. He's a good guy.
He was he was a mentor. He was a father figure. He was, my confidant. Oh, my God, when I was going through my divorce, I don't know how I would have gotten through it without Jim's advice. I mean, I cannot even begin to tell you how much this guy means to me. So if you guys are into Jim like I'm into Jim, probably not quite as into him as I am, you guys should maybe get out to Wild Card this upcoming Saturday at 2 o'clock. All right, Lindsay, baseball, we ready for a little big deal or no deal?
Yeah, but first, one question. Are you as into Jim Lampley as Sedano is into SGA?
I'm gonna say George is more into SGA.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you for letting me share in your aura.
We'll have to ask him that when he comes back tomorrow. I'm sure he'll have stories for us, right?
I would think so.
All right, so big deal or no deal. So surprising new research has found that men fall in love almost twice as fast as women do. This study, which surveyed 1,000 young adults from 33 different countries, revealed that the average man takes a little over 4 weeks to fall head over heels, while women take about 8 weeks. I guess, has this been your experience, and is this a big deal or no deal?
It has not been my experience.
The research shows this, though.
I know, but you got to understand something, and I'm sure what I'm about to tell you, Lindsay, is not going to surprise you. I'm a very lovable guy.
So you think that women fall in love with you much quicker than 8 weeks?
Oh, I mean, I could be an exception to the rule. I don't know for sure. But I think there have been several women who have very quickly, they've just fallen. What can I tell you?
I mean, just like the one who fell in love with you so quickly that one of the first things she wanted to do was make you cut your hair?
That was an ex-wife. That's right.
Just
That's
saying.
right.
Just
yep.
saying.
Yeah, DeAndre, you tell me. Are you in love right now with your lady?
I am. Yeah.
Do you say things like "I love you"?
Yeah, of course.
Did somebody say "I love you" first?
She did, actually.
See that? See, that's my point. That's exactly what I'm getting at, and I didn't know that.
Well,
but that's what happened in my current relationship.
Okay.
I will tell you.
Well, this study specifically, said that their information is consistent with the difference in partner selection, which is females tend to be choosier than males.
Yeah, men fall in love quickly because men fall in love with the first thing.
Yes.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yes, 100%.
Guys fall in love with, like, what's the most important thing?
Which is probably why you were cutting your hair like 3 days into the relationship.
Right, because I wanted it.
Yes, exactly.
You're exactly right. All right, well, to me, not a big deal. And not sure I totally agree. But the data doesn't lie, does it?
Nope, doesn't lie. All right. So this next one here, this is from Huffington Post. It's basically like a rundown of proper parking etiquette because, nowadays people are out driving their cars more than ever, running around, doing things, going to the store. And I guess that there's some discussion on the internet about proper parking lot etiquette. So I'm going to go through these with you guys, and I want you to tell me, like, obviously this whole thing is not a big deal, but I want to get your opinion on some of these quote-unquote, like unwritten rules about parking, right?
Okay.
So things you cannot do. Steal a parking spot. Are you known to do that?
No, I don't. No, I mean, it always bothers me when I'm in a parking lot and, like, I can see that there's a space. I put my signal on immediately.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Hey, this is the space I intend to take. And if somebody were to take that space, like they come in from the other side, that to me, I'm not, those aren't fighting words for me, but you're a jerk if you do that to somebody who's sitting there waiting with their blinker on.
Yeah, like you put your hazard lights on, and like if I see someone with the hazard lights, I'm like, okay, they're going to take that spot right there. So I go around and go find someone else. It's not that hard.
Yeah, and by the way, you know who's the worst in that entire equation?
What?
It's the guy that's sitting in his car with his brake lights on, who's on his phone, and it's
wait,
like,
we'll
buddy.
Get to that one. We'll get to that one.
All right.
Okay?
All right.
So then the next one is parking in two spots. I know, like, my brother-in-law has a huge truck, and he doesn't park in two spots, but, like, it's almost to the point where, like, you can't pull up next to it. So that's, like, also, like, number 3, which is being mindful of doors. So that's, like, taking up more than one space or parking too close to the line.
Have you ever seen a guy in a parking lot who parks way, way, way out in left field? There's no cars parked there.
Yep.
But he parks in two spots, which is to say, This is my car. Don't come near it. Don't touch it. I don't want to get it scratched. Rude, okay? Here's the other one. guys with really big trucks, or even if you don't have a big truck, and instead of being like in the middle of the two lines that indicate the parking spot,
oh my goodness,
when you're too close or even like right on the line, and now I pull up, hey, here's a legit parking spot, but now I can't even get out. Not that you've taken up two, it's just that you're not in the middle and you're taking up my space, man.
That is awful.
Exactly.
Awful.
Awful. So this next one is what you're just talking about, stalking or tailgating. Okay, so the worst feeling in the world is when, like for me, I use my GPS for everything, right? I'm not going to pull out of my parking spot until I know the next place I'm going. So it usually takes me an extra minute. I get my car, whatever, and I need to type in my address for the GPS and figure out where I'm going, because I can't even exit the parking lot if I don't know which way I'm turning, right? And you always have those people that they're right behind you, and it feels like they're breathing down your neck. It happens a lot here on nights where there's Lakers games or Kings games, because there's no spots by the time we get out. People are coming in to park for the games. And so it's like they're waiting for your second for you to pull out. And I'm like, man, I'm not ready to pull out yet. I got to figure out where I'm going.
Yeah, so so the person that's in your spot, in your position, I'm putting my address into my GPS, I'm answering a text, I'm doing whatever. You feel the pressure of the guy who's standing behind you going, let's go, buddy, let's go, make a move.
Well, I'll go when I'm good and ready to go. It's my spot. I'm still in it.
Right, but if you're the guy in the car that's waiting for you to pull out and there's all of a sudden 5 cars behind you and you're creating a traffic jam, we're looking at you going, girl, let's go. Come on, man.
I do that all the time, especially in the gym in the morning, because my gym gets packed at 9 o'clock and it starts to die down around 10. And whenever I pull up, I wait to see if anyone's going to get out their spot, and then I see someone walking towards their car. I'm like, okay, this person's definitely leaving. And then when they get in there, they're taking their sweet-ass time. I'm like, bruh, come on, man. I got to go get this work in. Come on.
I'm with that all day long.
I'm not trying to cause traffic jams, but at the same time, I'm already in the spot. You're the one who needs the spot, so you can yield to me.
Wow. Well, and by the way, listen, a lot of times, you ever done this? You're standing there and you're waiting, and here comes a family. Oh, there's a family, and they're going to get into that vehicle, and then they're all going to leave. But then they look at you and they're like, this is going to take a few minutes.
Because
I got 2 kids.
People. Yeah, I got
me
the
too.
Strollers.
Right,
too.
Kids, strollers. Right, yeah. I got to put them in car seats. I would do that all the time when my kids were little. Somebody's waiting for the spot. I'm like, hey, gonna move fast, but this is going to take a little bit of time. Just so you know, be patient.
Or if you're dropping something off at your car, like let's say you're Christmas shopping, you got a bunch of stuff you want to put in the trunk, and they think you're leaving, I'll just be like, I'm not leaving yet.
Yep. Yeah, you just wave you wave the hand like, hey, no, I'm sorry, I'm not leaving. And then, I normally pull off. I'm like, okay, I got you. I get it.
I mean, I know that I'm there's some controversial takes about my parking here in the garage, but I'm just saying, like, if you want my spot, like, I can sit here all day long if I want
can't
to.
Even park on the first level no more.
Yeah,
nobody can, because Herbalife, whatever Herbalife is, just takes up all the spots. Even though they're always empty, they have them all claimed.
Yeah,
all
they
right,
do.
So last one here is, I guess this isn't one that you guys would ever have to worry about, is ignoring like the snowstorm protocols. Cap, I mean, you probably don't have any experience. I know DeAndre doesn't have any experience parking anywhere with snow. But when the worst is when you live somewhere where it snows and you get into these big parking lots, especially like the mall or the grocery store, where you got the snow plows. And obviously that snow's got to go somewhere. So usually at, the corners of the rows, there's huge snow piles. And you'll have this guy that thinks like, even though half of the spot is filled with snow up to your, the top of your car, he's like, I think I could squeeze in here. And then his car is sticking out halfway in the lane. And like, you have to go really slow just to get by because he thinks he can park in the spot with all the snow. That's annoying.
You want to hear something annoying? I'll make this quick. So a friend of mine around the corner had bought a new house, and there's parking on the street in front of the house. And a lot of people in the neighborhood have these signs on the wall that say, resident parking only, and there was this guy who had this Harley-Davidson motorcycle parked in front of this guy's house for like the last 2 weeks. So he took a note and he wrote a note on the bike and he said, hey, listen, we're having some work done. We're actually going to be cutting down these trees and your bike is in the way. Would you kindly move the motorcycle? The motorcycle's been sitting there for 2 weeks. There's no cover on it. Nobody knows whose bike it is. The guy just parks the motorcycle in front of somebody else's house like it's a bird scooter. And I'm not saying that he's not entitled to the space because it is kind of public space, but you leave your motorcycle there in front of somebody's house for 2 weeks when people are trying to do work? Rude, man, rude.
Well, I just want to say one thing to that, Cap. first of all, maybe the guy is out of town. Maybe like he doesn't have a place where he can keep his motorcycle safely.
You want to know the answer?
And he's like, you know what? I'm going to leave my motorcycle parked at my girlfriend's house because I know nothing will happen to it.
You want to know the answer?
Sure.
What happened?
What happened?
So the landscapers come to my friend's house, and they're like, we can't do the work because this guy's motorcycle's in the way, and we're going to do damage to this guy's bike. So they walked around the neighborhood, literally asking people, hey, do you know whose motorcycle that is? They knocked on people's door. Do you know whose motorcycle that is? 30 minutes later, they found the guy. They go, hey, do you know whose motorcycle that is? He goes, yeah, it's mine. They go, is there any chance you would be willing to move it? The guy comes down, he moves it 1 block up and parks it at somebody else's house. He lives up 2 blocks and around the corner. Put your own freaking motorcycle in front of your house, dude.
Maybe there's a reason.
Yeah, because he's rude.
All I know is when I went out of town, my car got towed for no reason. Because it was there for too long. Because it was parked out in a cul-de-sac for too long.
That's a real thing. When the people who live in that neighborhood go, this car, we don't know whose it is. It's been here forever. It's in the way. They will come tow your car.
They knew it was mine. They were just being jerks.
Rude. Well, they're rude
Probably
too.
needed their trees trimmed or something like that.
Maybe so. Hey, that's big deal or no deal. Let me have 1 minute to talk to everybody here about PrizePicks. Here's what I'd like you to do. I've been telling you about PrizePicks for years. PrizePicks is an incredible app, okay? Download the PrizePicks app. Use our code CAPPY, K-A-P-P-Y. You make your first $5 play, you get your $50 bonus. But here's what I really want to direct you to. When you download the PrizePicks app, click on the promos button. It's down at the very bottom. For those of you that are watching on YouTube, I'm showing it to you right here. At the bottom, there's the promos tab. And right now, I'm going to keep on hyping this until we get to the actual end of the season. It's the Take 2 Tickets promotion where you and a guest can win a VIP trip to the ship. Here's what it means. Create a $5 3-pick flex NBA lineup. So what that means is you're going to take 3 players. You're going to decide, is he going to score more or less? Is he going to have more or fewer rebounds? Is he going to have more or less points, rebounds, and assists? This is NBA exclusive. So you take a $5 3-pick flex NBA lineup in the playoffs, and every lineup is 1 entry for the VIP trip to the ship. You can do 5 per day. So that would be $25, okay? And then somebody, and I really hope it's somebody who's listening to us, somebody is going to win a VIP trip to the ship. They're going to have the airfare, the hotel, all the accommodations, courtside seats, but you got to play on PrizePicks. So download the PrizePicks app, use the code CAPPY, K-A-P-P-Y, make your first $5 play, get that $50 bonus. Good luck tonight. A lot of you guys are tweeting me your picks because you guys are killing it. You guys are winning. Tweet me your picks. All you have to do is click the share button. I want to know what you guys are playing because I'm sure you're doing a lot more research than I am. Download the PrizePicks app. Use the code CAPPY, K-A-P-P-Y. PrizePicks. Run your game.
ESPN LA is black and gold. Follow LAFC on the quest for trophies all season long. Every match, every pass, every goal.
Oh, Olivier! He drops to his knees and implores the heavens.
The home of LAFC is 710 ESPN and the ESPN LA app.
Hey guys, you feel it? Days are getting longer, sun is getting warmer. Looks like our SoCal summer is right around the corner. Here in California, we are all about choosing chill. From hitting the beach to the best hiking trails to going all out to support our teams. One thing really all ties it together, and that's enjoying it all with good friends and a cold Coors Light. Pick up Coors Light near you or get it delivered to your door today. Visit CAChooseChill.com to learn more. 2025 Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado. Celebrate responsibly.
Individuals and businesses with tax problems, listen carefully. Do you feel like you're losing control of your finances? If you owe over $10,000 in back taxes or have unfiled tax returns, we can help you take back control. The IRS is the largest and most aggressive collection agency in the world, and they can seize your bank accounts, garnish your paycheck, close your business, and file criminal charges. Take control of your tax problem now by calling the experts at U.S. Tax Shield and take advantage of the Fresh Start program and new laws that that may allow us to negotiate a settlement for the lowest amount possible. Our team of tax attorneys and enrolled agents can stop collections and get you protected so you can take control of your financial future. U.S. Tax Shield offers a price protection guaranteed quote to get you protected today. U.S. Tax Shield is A+ rated with the Better Business Bureau, so call now. 800-687-5192. That's 800-687-5192. U.S. Tax Shield. 800-687-5192.
If you have ever thought about remodeling your bathroom but were worried it would take too long or cost too much, then stop worrying. Right now, Jacuzzi Bath Remodel has designed a collection of high-quality custom products and perfected the one-day remodeling experience so you can enjoy your new bathroom faster than ever before. It's a worry-free bath remodel from the most trusted brand name in the business, Jacuzzi. A jacuzzi bath system fits in your existing tub space. It's a no-mess installation with an amazing style selection, factory-certified installers, and a limited lifetime warranty. Call 800-717-4599. That's 800-717-4599 right now and get 50% off installation with no interest and no payments for 12 months. Replace that old bathtub today with a walk-in shower for a safer bathing experience. If you have lived in your home for over 15 years, it's time to remodel your bathroom. For a virtual or in-home appointment, call 800-717-4599. That's 800-717-4599. 800-717-4599.
This is Sedano and Cap on 710. Yeah. Sedano and Cap continues.
Really?
Right now.
Well, that is our final segment music. Shout out to Jim Lampley tomorrow at the Wild Card Boxing Gym with Freddy Roach. I say tomorrow, it's Saturday, 2 o'clock. Appreciate you, Jim. Love you, man. And the book is unbelievable. You guys are watching on YouTube. You see I've got it right here. It's called It Happened. Got a little dealer's choice coming up right now. Ooh.
Good one.
Close.
By the
Very
way, Cappy,
close.
before you do dealer's choice, I
Yes.
don't want to forget to tell you that me and DeAndre are talking about Petco Park and how I've never been there. He's never been there. We need to get to a game down there with you, me and DeAndre.
Okay. How about if we do a Dodgers-Padres game?
Ooh.
I feel like that'll be like really, really crazy and really busy.
You guys come anytime. Listen, I'm going to see the Dodgers and the A's next week. I kind of picked that series because I figured, it's probably not going to be nuts. I mean, listen, Dodger Stadium every night gets 50,000, but I don't think there's that much interest in the A's per se. And so I've got the Dodgers-A's on my calendar for next week, Tuesday and Wednesday night. So,
who are you going with?
I have a couple of buddies of mine that have invited me, but I'll tell you who I really want to go with is
Beto?
Beto would be great, and Beto would be great with the crazy Hernandez brothers.
Los
Los
Hernandez brothers?
Los Hernandez hermanos. See. So I got to get with Steven Hernandez because that's who I really want to go hang out with. So anyway, yes, in fact, funny you say that, Lindsay, because one of my buddies is like, I only go to Dodger games, and he'll only go to Dodger Stadium. But his BFF is a big Angels fan. And he's saying, dude, I got to get you to an Angels game. And the Dodger fan goes, nobody goes to the Angels game. No, they go. But we want Trout, and Trout gets hurt. And so, listen, let me tell you, you talk about a Southern California baseball tour. Dodger Stadium, Angel Stadium, Petco Park, let's do all three. What do you say to that?
Yeah,
All right.
Do it.
That'd be cool.
All right, hey, it's time for the Dealer's Choice Real Deal. Is brought to you by Seller's Advantage. Hey, if you want to sell your house, before you call an agent, call Seller's Advantage. They will buy it with an as-is competitive cash offer. They'll buy it right now, as is. We don't care. We'll put the money into it. You don't have to put the money into it. We'll give you a cash offer. No repairs needed. They make selling easy. Call 888-390-AS-IS, 888-390-AS-IS. Hey, we've got this Warriors Minnesota game that is already underway. DeAndre, this kid Spencer I was talking to you about the other day, the lacrosse player turned basketball player in the NBA, he already in this game and making plays, man.
Of course, he has to, man. The step out, man, he's got to, Steve Kerr's going to go deep in the rotation.
Look at my man's mustache. That is a serious man stash. Linz, one thing that I wanted to mention on Dealer's Choice. You had birthdays today. Enrique Iglesias, Olivia Culpo, I don't know who that is. David Attenborough, I don't know who that is.
The old rich guy.
And 6ix9ine, I don't know who that guy is. Okay, I don't know who that is
He's
either.
a rapper.
Okay.
Not a good one.
You know whose birthday you didn't mention?
Who?
Big shout out to my boy, because when I talk about the Wild Card Gym and Freddy Roach, happy birthday to an all-time Dodger legend, Adrian Gonzalez. Shout out, AG.
Happy birthday.
So much love, brother. Great job, Lindsay. Great job, DeAndre.